Come on in, everybody, for this edition of Mavs on Deck here from Athletic Park as the Medicine Mavericks get ready to take on the Swift Current 57s for only the second time here this year. Swift Current not in those bright orange jerseys today. Rather, they have elected to go for the black ones. And the Mavericks have the camo red on their side today. But before we keep focusing on what the apparel is for both these teams, let's talk about yesterday's game for the Mavericks. And it appeared as though, Wayne, they were really never in it from the start.
Yeah, that's a game that you really don't want to talk about, but we should talk about it just so that we can put it in the past, like I think the players are going to do. The Mavs were in it until the fifth inning, and then all of a sudden Mushaw broke the game wide open. And there was a number of miscues in terms of defense. We had 4 errors. We didn't capitalize when we had opportunities. But I've got to say that Mushaw just kept finding the holes when they're at bats. I think they had 23 hits, and there weren't a lot of them that were real solid hits. There was probably close to a dozen that were, little looper hits that just landed or got in between the third baseman and the shortstop. But that's a game. Every team has it. They have them in the major leagues as well. It's a blip on your season, and hopefully it's not a pattern.
Yeah, and speaking of losing, the 57s have been doing a lot of that this year. They are at the bottom of the standings. That's where they've been all season long. It's been really disappointing for this young group with a mix of a few veterans in there as well. They just can't seem to get it going at any point in the season. And coming into Medicine and facing a team that was stunned, for lack of better terms, last night, it feels as though they can maybe use this as a trap game and do some damage further on.
Well, the one thing about a team, all teams per se, they win 25 to 30% of their games. The teams that are the weakest in any league. So if you're the weakest in your league and you're still winning 25% of the games, which Swift Current are, they've got 7 wins and 26 losses or something to that effect. Who are you beating? You've got to be beating the teams above you. So the Mavericks have got to be concerned that they aren't going to fall victim to that. Let Swift Current get their 25% wins against somebody else, not them. Because these teams tend to beat the better teams as well as other weaker teams. And you got to remember, they are one of the weakest teams in the league, but they're still going to win 15 games this year. And those 15 games all have to be against teams that are better than them.
And you speak of two teams that are quite a bit better than them, the Okotoks Dogs and the Saskatoon Berries. They've beaten both of them this year, and they're only going to see Okotoks twice. So getting a win against a team like that, for jostling in the upper half of the standings, those losses are going to be more key for the Okotokses and the Saskatoons of the world. If the Mavericks take almost all the games off of them, it's going to look a lot different, especially with it being limited in the other division with how much they play a team like Swift.
And conversely, if you're one of the top winning teams in the league, which the Mavs are, they've got the third most wins, they're still going to lose 25 to 30% of their games. Who are they going to lose it to? The people that are below them, the teams that are below them. So in baseball, the weakest can beat the best, usually 25 to 30% of the time. Let's just not let it happen tonight.
And on the mound, we'll speak a little bit more about him later for the Mavs. This guy pitching in his last game as a Maverick tonight before he heads home and goes on to play at a new school next year. Not sure if it's been leaked, so I won't leak it myself because I don't want to be that guy. But Foster Voiko, he's had a couple appearances here this year. He's gotten better as the season's gone on. It's his last chance to do some damage in the red and white.
Yeah, I think this has been a good experience for Foster. Hopefully he's seen it at that, to come into Medicine Hat, playing against in front of really good crowds. And we're going to have a very good crowd here again tonight. It was a nasty day weather-wise yesterday. A great day for baseball tonight. So let's hope it's a good send-off for Foster.
Yeah, it was a cloudy and murky day yesterday, and the play, it mimicked that. Today, the sky is clear of all clouds, blue as can be. We'll see if the Mavericks play follows suit when we come back. But first, a word from our network, Flow Sports, before we get you to tonight's starting lineups. Well, it's another day at Athletic Park here in Medicine Hat, Alberta. The sky, it is blue tonight. It's a great night for baseball. And the Mavericks, they're looking to get their revenge against the Swift Current 57s, who they've had the better of this year, winning all 4 meetings between the two. And they're going to need to get back on their horse after what we saw yesterday, a disappointing loss against the Moose Jaw Miller Express, who came into town riding a win streak of their own, that now up to 3, and in a division that's getting closer and closer in the East, especially in the playoff picture. These games become larger and larger as we reach the end of the season. My name is Truman Bartman, and alongside me, as always, is Wayne Slosher. Good to be back on this side of the booth with you here tonight, Wayne, and should be a fun one. Take me through who's going to be playing in it.
Yeah, let's start off with the visiting 57s. Wilmer Henriquez is at third base. Gus Kane is at first base. Silas Hilton in left field. Jose Ayala in center field. Casey Prychuk is the DH. Luis Ayala is catching. Enrique Reyes is at second base. Trig Mapes at shortstop. And Braxton Vale in right field. For the hometown Mavs, Jeremy Freeman Jr. in center field. Aaron Volcano at first base. Tyler Venesti at third. Carter Roth at shortstop tonight. Adam Volcano at second. Jaden Babiak will do the catching. Blake Dale is the DH. Micah Dvorak will be in right field tonight, and Yuzi Uzawa in left field. The umpires for tonight's game, the crew chief and at home plate is Derek Casada. At first base, Brian Stair, and the third baseman, Tyler Murphy. A beautiful night for baseball, as you mentioned.
And now we will take you to our presentation of the national anthem. Stay tuned, and we will be back.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And let's take a look at who's tonight's starting pitcher for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. We already kind of spoiled it for you in the pregame, but making what is his final start here at Athletic Park and for the Mavericks is number 17, Foster Voiko. 1 win on the season, a 4.50 ERA, 24 strikeouts. Part of that Ottawa quartet that came here earlier this season. We know what Luis Diaz has done. We know what Diego Centella has done. And we know offensively what Jeremy Freeman has done. Can Voiko have a premier night of his own? He's had a couple good ones this year, but we're waiting for that all put together performance from the big righty. And the Mavs with a bit of a different defensive look around the diamond tonight. Obviously, we're used to seeing Evan Morrison at first, Johnny Volcano at short. And they've got a couple new moving pieces. We'll see if it impacts them early with guys in new positions. And it's just about as nice as it can be out there. Weather is picture perfect here in Medicine Hat. And as the Mavericks go on this homestand here, we're not sure how long the weather's going to stay. Monday, it's rumored that there could be rain in the Saskatoon game when they come back to town. Mavs will look for revenge in that one as well. But we are only here now, and of course, all attention on the 57s. And the 57s, late in this season, when you're looking for something to play for, it often can be tough to find a source of momentum. But I think for this group, which is still very young, these guys are looking to get some experience. And who knows, maybe there's coaches out there who are watching in, and this could potentially be their demo reel.
Yeah, and everyone should be playing for the love of the game, and all of these players in the WCBL are. And some of them will get a chance to get looked at in a more relevant position going forward. But the main thing right now is they want to have good at-bats. They want to have a good performance on the mound, good play defensively no matter where they are in the lineup. They just want to be in the lineup. And for the 18 players that are starting tonight, they're going to have a good crowd behind them. As we said, a beautiful day, 26 degrees, approximately 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Beautiful night, no wind. We should be in for a great performance tonight.
And that great performance could include Wilmer Henriquez, who has been dynamite this season. 8 home runs, which is second in the WCBL. He's led the home run race in lots of parts of the year as well, and he's a dangerous one. Voico's going to have to pitch carefully when facing this guy. One's going to miss for ball number 1 as Voico starts his night off on the wrong side of things. Waiting on deck is Gus Kane, and the reason we're saying Gus Kane is because we had a pronunciation kind of scribbled in on the lineup card tonight. If it is Cone and not Kane and there was a spelling mistake, we're just going by what we see as Henriquez saw that one, decided to swing, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, there's many names that are spelt the same that are pronounced differently, and we kind of talked about Roth and Roth and Kane and Keene or Cone.
This one down towards third, and a bobble there from Vanesti. That's a rarity, and there'll be one on for the 57s. A good start with none out.
Yeah, that should be a hit. That was a very tough play for Vanesti to make, but they put up an error on the board, so in my scorebook, it's going to be a hit.
In our scorebook.
Yes.
Mine is yours, Wayne.
Yeah, it's not. We're not official here, folks, but to me that was a hit.
And now batting Gus Kane over at first base tonight. And he's got a runner at first base here as he has his heel all the way at the very back of the batter's box. Here's the throw from Voico. Pitch from Voico, rather. Down to second, and they're going to get an easy out over there. Did Roth not tag him?
Well, there seems to be some confusion about what took place at home plate. They're not sure whether the ball was hit or did it hit the batter.
Well, it looked like it bounced short, and I can see Jaden Babiuk down there pointing to where it bounced. So I think if Roth touched that runner coming across, he's going to be out and they're going to send him over to first, and I guess they're going to say that it hit him. And Babiuk now pointing to the ground saying the ball hit right here, and he's livid. JT's going to come out and have a chat with the umpire. There's now 2 on for the 57s for the time being. We'll see if
Not
this remains
exactly
the same.
sure how he got first base on that.
And a quick conversation there is JT right back to the dugout.
There might have been catcher interference where the batter's bat struck Babiuk's glove on his swing.
That makes the most sense at this juncture in time. Pitch from Voico, that's in there for strike 1. He's got some heat behind him here. He'll need to work a bit more efficiently. In the glove goes Voico again. Bunt was held out. That one drops in for a strike on the high side of the strike zone.
Volcano at first base is playing in case there's a slow roller or a bunt, but I don't think they're going to be bunting, especially not now.
This one doesn't have enough juice as it's over into left field, and no tag up will be near, so the runners will remain at second and first apiece. And now up to the plate is Jose Ayala. We got both brothers in the game tonight. So Jose Ayala, one of the premier hitters within this Swift Current lineup over the last 2 years. Numbers aren't as good this season. His brother's numbers are jumping right off the page. And we'll talk more about him throughout this game and when he makes his plate appearance. But now it's just Jose. Jose good buddies with Diego Centella on the other side.
I would imagine they're good buddies, and I think a lot of these players have friends on each other's teams, and that's good to see.
Diego said Jose is not a pitcher, but he watched him pitch a couple times in high school. So I'm sure if there's a scenario where there's a blowout, we could see Jose's name on the mound.
Volcano at first base, still playing in on the grass with 2 strikes.
Here's a throw from Voiko. That one mailed high. Voiko will step back on the rubber here. Not the quickest worker on the Mavericks squad. Xander Roberts, super quick. Zach Kalinsky as well. Voiko, quick look back. Here comes the pitch. This one up into center field. A similar path to how the last one took. It was straight up and straight down into the glove of a Maverick, and those runners staying put for now. Up to the plate comes Casey Projak, a veteran on this squad. He's been behind the plate at moments. He's DHing tonight. And Casey from Sask himself. So he's used to the Sask climate. He's used to this Mavericks team as well. He's seen them a lot over the years. Despite the rotating parts, he knows this park. One's going to miss from Voiko.
2 quick outs after the 2 runners got on, and I believe it was 4 pitches. I think there was a 2-1 count on Enriquez, and then a catcher interference, we're thinking. But 2 quick fly ball outs.
No swing there, so it's 2-0. And I think for Voiko, seeing what the Swift Current batting lineup is like, he's going to want to be challenging these guys and making them swing. As we saw 2 pop-ups, they weren't able to get enough power or contact off of them. That one's going to dip low. No swing again, so that's 3 consecutive balls here for Voiko, threatening to load the bases.
Yeah, I would have thought on a 2-0 count he might have come in with a fastball, but he chose an off-speed pitch. Sometimes you'll get the chase.
There's a strike from Voiko. No swing once again. You can tell Projak eager to work a walk.
And that's one thing Voitko needs to avoid, the walk.
And there it is, right on cue. So the bases are loaded for the 57s. And right on cue because they have their best hitter arguably up to bat. Best hitter average-wise as he's batting in the 300s. It's Luis Ayala, almost 200 points up from the spot he was at last year batting average-wise. He was named an All-Star in 2025. He is a machine. Maybe not the most powerful of hitters. He does have a little in there, but he's good at putting one where it needs to be more often than not.
And he has good speed, so fortunately the bases are loaded.
There's a strike from Voiko. Get on the right side of things here.
Yeah, the Mavs, with Luis's speed, the infielders have options if they don't feel they can get him at first going to other bases.
That one is going to jam him. Right back to the netting goes Ayala. Ayala going to put this one close to the gap. Vanesti going to go towards first, and the Mavs sneak out of it. Bases were loaded, but Voiko and company shut things down, and it's a clean slate heading into the bottom of the first, where the Mavs bats will try and find more life than they did last night. We'll be right back after a quick word from Centennial Storage. And we're back for the bottom of the first inning, and you know what that means. Jeremy Freeman Jr. is up at the plate as he gets ready to go, takes a strike on pitch one. And we have a pitcher we haven't seen here at Athletic Park before on the mound, and that's Shunta Fuea. And a swing and a miss there from Freeman on the off speed. And Fuea, I heard a Swift Current announcer with one of the better calls I've heard all season long after a Fuea strikeout, and we'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to bounce in the dirt, but he said, I think it was "shunta your mouth." Elite wordplay. So I want to give my credit to the Swift Current announcer. It has been talked about lots, that call, around our office here with the Mavericks. Fuea, that is in the air, strike three. So Freeman down looking, and that is the first out for the 57s. That off speed fooling Freeman a couple of times.
Well, I think the hitters are going to have to adjust to the home plate umpire's strike zone. It does look like it's a little higher tonight. So those pitches that are up in the zone, they're going to have to find a way of making good contact on those.
And that one's going to hit Aaron Volcano, so he's off and down to first base. That'll bring up to the plate Tyler Vanesti in on that left-hand side. It'll be the first time tonight that Fuea sees a lefty. Vanesti just about ready to go. Fuea down the middle. That one's going to be fouled off by Vanesti, and then it'll go foul. Vanesti, fourth year in the WCBL, starting it off in Edmonton, and then 3 consecutive years here with the Mavericks, and 2 consecutive All-Star nods.
Oh, Vinesti has the hole on the right side. Volcano very good at going first to third.
And is that one going to hit Vinesti? It does. He chucks the bat aside, and so that's 2 hit batters for Fuea. The Mavs with a chance to score here in the first. They got Carter Roth coming up. You know how dangerous he is. Talked about it enough this year. This guy hits the ball everywhere around the field. And there's really no way to beat him if you're a pitcher. You can throw anything at him, and he's going to either catch up to it or wait for it. He's elite.
Well, he doesn't walk much, and he doesn't strike out much. So you know the ball is going to be put in play.
Former fast pitch player. Waits on the pitch from Fuea. He's going to miss down low, and then stumbling backwards was Ayala.
It's good to see Aaron Volcano at second base. He got to second base, and he checked to see where the outfielders were playing. And that gives you as a runner a real advantage, knowing where the ball is going to be hit, because you can score from second if the outfielder has to move left or right. So real smart base running there by Volcano.
Taking a look in the field, that left fielder playing way deep. It's almost as if they're playing for Roth to pull the ball over there, but he is not a pull hitter by any means. Fuea back on the mound. The righty into his glove, getting ready to pitch, and here it comes. There's a strike to Roth. Roth flings that one aside. And you look at Carter Roth, throughout the year he was running away with the batting title. And now that Ethan Menard is now a qualified player for the batting title, he's slipped into second place. It's been the only time this year that he hasn't been in first.
And that'll fluctuate. We're only halfway through the season, and that can go up and down.
Roth's going to send this one over to second, chance for 2. Tap on the bag, over to first. That ball came out weird, but it is converted out of the hand of Enrique Reyes. So a solid way to end the inning for the 57s. Both teams leaving runners on base. And if that's the look that we're going to see throughout this game, it looks like it will be a defensive duel. You can't quite call it a pitcher's duel. But now let's take a look at the head-to-head for tonight between these two teams and how their stats match up. And Medicine Hat, the overwhelming leaders in most, 4-0 in the 4 games between these two, to obviously the Swift Current 57s 0-4. 171 runs scored by Medicine Hat this year to 169, almost 100, over 100 more for the Mavericks, and a 23-13 record, 10 games above 500 for the Mavs, and well below 500 at 7-26, almost 20 games below 500 are the 57s. So there are a couple of the numbers that you need to know between these two teams as we get ready for Foster Voiko to go in a moment when we come back.
Across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday night. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today. Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday.
Enrique Reyes, who converted the double play all on his own last inning, is the first hitter up for the 57s. Batting left here, and he has only played in 1 game so far this season. So 57s might not know what they have yet, is that one way past fastball from Voiko. Voiko Now quickly to it here. Trying to go into attack mode against Reyes. And if you're Voiko, yes, you still got another year to play collegiately, but you do want to leave it all out here tonight. Lots of these faces will not get to see you throw again. He's going to hit in the top corner for a strike there. Voiko going to miss again. And Luis Diaz and Diego Centella have spent a lot of time around Foster, and he's a fountain full of knowledge as this one is grounded over towards first and foul. And they say that he's always trying to give instruction and help some of the younger pitchers. And what they like to do is pretend that they're writing notes or taking videos of him when he's doing it, almost as to mock him. But they say Foster is a super helpful resource within any pitching situation that they've been in.
I see Uzawa in left field is really close to the line.
Fouling that one off is Reyes. That was not an easy pitch to foul off, beaming right at the hands.
Yeah, it was right in on his bat handle.
Here comes another pitch from Voiko, and that one is going to be strike three looking.
That was a good pitch.
Reverse K for Voiko. And that's one down for the 57s. Bring up to the plate Trig Mapes, the shortstop. Mapes, he's much more than a baseball player. Played basketball in high school and was quite the player there, but elected to take the baseball route. And he found himself in Colorado playing collegiately. Maybe a high throw there from Voiko on his first pitch.
Mapes has got a little pop in his bat. He's got a couple of home runs.
Swing and a miss from Mapes that time.
He's got a few holes in his bat too. He's got 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
This one is going to be fended off over into right field. Right foul territory rather, but an extended version of right field. Voiko, quick to it. That one's going to be low. Mapes will wait patiently. Count is 2-2. Waiting behind Mapes on deck is Braxton Vale, the right fielder, although listed on the roster as a pitcher. Assume he can do both. This one on a sharp line. Will it get down? It will, but it's foul. Long way to go from Micah Dvorak over on that side, and thankfully, I'm sure for his sake, happy that one drifted the extra inch.
Well, I've noticed Foster has picked up his pace a little bit this inning, and I like his sequence of pitching. He and Babiak seem to have a good working relationship.
There's a bit more confidence within that pace. And he liked that throw there. He's going to look over at first. Thought he got a swing, but did not. So we'll reset with a full count. One out, nobody on. Voiko into the mitt. Here it comes, and it's fouled aside by Mapes. Long walk for Voiko to go and grab that ball out of the grass. Wants a new one, so Babiak will convert it over to the umpire, and they'll find something that's got pure leather. Voiko, long way back up to the mound. He's there now. Mapes waiting on the other end. See if the change in pace here with a longer delay helps Mapes. Here comes the throw. This one is going to go towards center field. Long way for Freeman to go, and it's in and out of his glove. Mapes on his way to second. Shouldn't have any more, and it will be 2 bags for Trig Mapes.
That was a long run for Freeman, and at the last second, he reached out to try to make the catch. Almost a great catch. We haven't seen him drop anything this year, and that's not a drop, that's a double, but he's given an error on that.
Yeah, that would have been a highlight reel play had he made that, and I don't think you can rule an error for a play that could have been highlight reel. Like, it takes a lot more to get there. Mapes over on second, regardless of what it is scored as. Vale at the plate.
Well, a good at-bat for Mapes. Went to full count. put the bat on the ball, and whatever happened, happened.
Ooh, that one's going to bounce and hit Babiuk and get over to the backstop, so Mapes will trudge over to third. Voiko, a slow walk back to the mound.
Infield's going to play back, of course. It's early in the game. They'll give up a run for an out.
Voiko ahead, swing and a miss from Vale. I think he could throw that one 2 more times, and I'm not sure if Vale's going to be able to catch up with it. He was way behind.
Yeah, and it was a perfect pitch, outside, low on the corner.
Goes back to the fastball again, but that one is going to miss. Three and one here between Voiko and Vale. Vale takes again, so he prevails in this matchup, and he'll head down towards first base. Top of the order for the 57s with runners on the corners. Mavericks obviously open for a double play chance. Wilmer Henriquez doesn't offer a lot of those with the power that he possesses. It'll be a difficult matchup here for Voiko as he gets ready. Voiko, first throw is in for a strike.
Enriquez grounded to Venesti at third, his first plate appearance.
That pitch is going to be hammered over to left field, and it's going to take Uzawa a little further back. Run will score, and that's the first of this ball game. So the 57's out to a 1-0 lead here, and it is an RBI off the bat of Wilmer Henriquez. Gus Kane, the lefty, will get set to face Voiko. One on, Vale over at first. Vale doesn't have much of a lead off, although he's jumping behind the play. This one's going to be hit over to short and out of the reach of Roth. Uzawa over in center, or in left field. He's going to drop it on the transition, but no harm, no foul, as the runner was already headed to third base.
I think it was probably good that Uzawa dropped the ball because it looked like he was going to come up throwing to third, and he wasn't going to get the runner at third base, and that would have allowed Kane to go down to second base. So this way it kept Kane at first.
And we saw many times last year that play trying to be made from left field, and there being no coverage behind the third baseman, and that ball running away, and then the run comes in to score, and the next runner's off around the base path. First pitch is a ball here.
So the 57s do have something cooking.
This one's going to be popped up right above our heads. Hear that one land. Count is 1-1. You got to think for Voiko. You've only given up the one here. The runners are threatening, but you're fortunate to have the 2 outs in this scenario. Voiko, this one's going to be grounded. Bit of a tough bounce there for the second baseman, and it is over to first as Volcano goes to Volcano, and the 57s are on the board early. It's just one, but it could be an important one down the stretch. As they get 2 hits, they leave 2 on, but are in the lead. Now a short word from our official network, FloSport. And in game, I'm pretty sure they just announced that Johnny Volcano is at the plate. It is indeed Adam Volcano who made that play over at second base. And it confused me for a second on the last play, thinking that Blake Dale might be down there. We haven't seen Adam really at second at all this year. Of course, he played first base last night. Takes a strike there from Fuea.
I believe Adams playing first, third, and the outfield so far this year.
Yeah, the 2A Volcanos are very expendable. You can move them away all over. It's going to be high for Fuea. Count is 2-1. Waiting on deck is Jaden Babiuk, waiting for his first battle of the night with Fuea. Swing and a miss there from Adam Volcano. Mavericks are going to have to be patient on that off speed. Fuea, low dip. And now he's set. Here comes the pitch. And a swing and a miss from Volcano. Strikeout for Fuea.
Fuea's got a good mixture of pitches. And his delivery can be a little bit deceptive as well. He does hide the ball well behind his body.
Seems as this could be a favorable matchup for Babiuk, however. He usually struggles with the fastball coming at his bat. And instead, he's going to be able to work with some off-speed pitches. If one lands in a favorable spot, he can move it.
Third baseman Enriquez is playing in case Babiuk puts down a bunt. Babiuk is a good bunter.
Babiuk is going to send this one left and wide. Fuea, quick stretch over on the mound. Babiuk's going to send this one down over into left field, a little dribbler, and he's got a chance for two. Babiuk rounding first, Jets are on, over to second, and he slides in. Jaden Babiuk with great hustle. He didn't think about stopping at first for a second.
Yeah, he knew as soon as he hit it past the third baseman, it would take a while for the left fielder, Hilton, to get over there, and he never stopped hustling out of the batter's box, as you had mentioned. Easy play for him to get to second.
Blake Dale, he's been swinging the bat well lately. Of course, the home run that put them over the top in their comeback effort against Weyburn. Been making much better contact, and Coach JT said it was a real mental switch for Blake Dale. He just started believing in his game a bit more, coming to the ballpark and thinking about the opportunity ahead rather than thinking about the slump that he was in.
Had a big two-run double last night as well. Hit it into the gap in right center. He's got surprising power to the right side of the field. He's not a big player by stature, but he's got a good swing.
Fuea, that long stretch as he's done so often. Here comes the pitch. Dale is going to hammer this one over to left, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Babiuk sees the bobble. Reed's going to wave him around into the plate to score as Babiuk, and we are even at one apiece. An RBI single for Blake Dale, and the Mavericks on the board for the first time tonight. Dale keeps raking, and wanted to touch one more time on that conversation that I had with JT about where Blake Dale was at, and he said it was Blake who made the urge to make the switch and really take care of what he'd been struggling with before, which was his mentality.
So on that play, Hilton dropped the ball. Babiuk was already slowing down when he got to third base. Hilton dropped the ball, and then Reed, coaching at third base, sent him home. So theoretically, it's not an RBI, but there's no air up on the board, so it would be an RBI for Blake Dale. Nevertheless, it was a clean single.
I wanted to just make a note. There was a throw over to first there from Fuea, and it kind of handcuffed the first baseman a bit, and that is that sun coming over from that side. We've spoken about it a lot on this broadcast, and the 57s are just finding out about it right now. And Fuea, off the top, we talked about he has not pitched here before, and that may be showing. Here's one that's going to be hit hard to first. It's wrapped up over to second. Dale sliding in, and he's there. So
Good
one
hustle
down
by
at first, but Blake got off to a good jump.
I was just going to mention that good hustle by Blake Dale. He took off right away, sees the ball was on the ground. Even if the ball's thrown ahead of him, he's got a hustle on that play. And it was still close, but it was not a force play.
Now the Mavs have the lead in their sights here with Yusei Uzawa up at the plate. Blake Dale lingering over at second. That pitch is going to miss from Fuea. Fuea in and out of the glove again. That one's going to be wide. Good count here for Uzawa to hit in. There's a strike from Fuea. Patient approach here from Uzawa.
I don't mind that. 2-0, that pitch outside on the plate, but not a hitter's pitch.
Uzawa's been a bit all over the map at the plate. He sometimes will go up and swing at 3 consecutive. Other times he looks like he has a great eye. Pretty unpredictable with his strategy each time.
The one thing he does bring to the park every day is his speed.
And also his 12 bats that he's gotten from different teams over the years and different partnerships. We're going to miss wide, and Uzawa is off to first base.
Yeah, his speed never goes in a slump, so he's got that tool working in his favor.
Jeremy Freeman Jr., 2 home runs in his last 3 games. He is finding his method here at Athletic Park. And both of them have been deeply launched. See if he can do it against Fuea. 2 on. Really anything in the green grass will work. That one going to be fended aside.
Well, he's had a look at Fuea, his first at-bat, and he didn't like what he saw. He got called out. So I think Freeman will have a great opportunity here. He'll make the adjustment.
Freeman, a swing and a miss there. That one took a nosedive.
he wasn't holding back on that swing. That was going to be another one of those 3-run home runs that he's hit.
Have to be patient here. Fuea might go with something else that dips low. That one is going to, and it's going to move both runners away. Dale over at third base. At second is Uzawa. Now the Mavs with a much easier mission here. Freeman still behind 1 and 2, however. Fuea gets a pitch that he likes. And ready for it now as he strides forward. Swing and a miss. Freeman going to run to first. The throw is on cue. The Mavs will leave 2 stranded in scoring position. And Freeman having a tough day with Fuea's off speed. we resume here in a 2-2 count. Apologies, folks. Just had to, take care of business, and we're back here in the top of the third in a 1-1 ball game after the Mavs get one back. They do leave two stranded, however. This one going to go over towards Aaron, and he throws it to Foster, who had to use all of his wingspan there to make sure that ball was inside his glove. That's one down. So you got to see the important part of the action. You didn't miss anything within the count, maybe a little bit of stress.
Well, it was a good play by Aaron. He went after the ball. He's got to take everything he can, knowing that the pitcher is going to cover. And, of course, Foster was over there.
Voyko going to miss high that time. Voyko shaking off pitches here. Now he's got one that he thinks will work, and it does. A swing and a miss.
Good curve ball, kept it low. Prychek swung right over top of it.
Prychek has had his fair share of strikeouts throughout his career, and that is another swing and a miss. Prychek with 22 strikeouts on the season. We're going to miss there for a ball, and the count is at 2 apiece. Another one missing for Voyko.
I just missed outside. It's a good pitch.
Pretty good job by the home plate umpire tonight, seeing things well out there.
Yeah, Casada's done a good job.
That one is high.
Second walk for Prychek.
Prychek, a guy whose average is fairly low. He's only batting 182 this year, and you walk a guy with that number twice. It's not what you'd like to see if you're Foster Voyko, but anybody can have their day, but you don't want to be giving out free passes.
No, that's right. You got to make him swing the bat.
Looks like something there might be something in the eye of Luis Ayala.
Well, I saw a lot of the players were putting on the bug spray, so they might be bad down there.
There's a strike, and it's funny you bring that up, Wayne. A couple players asking me today, what should I get for bug bite solution, and where can I get it? My recommendation was anti-itch, and you can find it at Walmart. But luckily, you're watching on a broadcast, so you don't have to deal with the bugs. Here's a Superman play to first.
Wow.
Getting him! Oh, what a beauty from Roth!
Oh, wow. That was a tremendous play. The fans are giving him a great round of applause, and he deserves it.
The air that Carter got on that one made him look like Vince. It's not a dunk competition.
You're not going to see much better plays than that from a shortstop in any league.
Voyko misses on that pitch. Almost seemed like he started his delivery. He was still looking back at second base. He's keeping a close eye on Prychek.
Yeah, he struck Reyes out his last at-bat. I'd go right after him.
Reyes a little bit of a flinch, but he will shake his head at that one. Reyes struck out looking last time, but he made it a competitive at-bat.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with the call from the umpire, but he's only had a couple of plate appearances this year, less than 10.
Voyko tries to attack with the fastball, and he's going to miss. And apologies, folks. Oftentimes, we do like to use that other camera. It is bugging out tonight, so we don't want to take any chances and have your screen frozen. There's a strike from Voyko. Count's going to be 3-1.
I think Reyes is a type of hitter that's going to hit it to the left side.
He's going to hit it over to
good.
the center of the right side.
I'm glad he didn't hit it there because there was nobody on the left side. Roth was trying to hold the runner.
And nobody gets through this time, so it's a 0 on the board for the 57s, who leave one stranded over at second base. And we take our game to the bottom of the third inning, still square at 1. Mavs trying to use that newfound momentum from last inning to accumulate a few more runs. Aaron Volcano, the first batter that we'll see in the bottom of the third inning. Volcano already on once tonight. He was hit by a pitch. Back-to-back hit by pitches from Fuea during that time. He also got Venesti. That one's going to miss there for ball number 2. Just 2 Volcanos in the lineup tonight. Johnny not in. Of course, you've both seen plays from Adam and Aaron already. And this one is going to be hit high over to left field. Should stay in the park, and it's playable. And the play is going to be made in left field by Hilton. Silas Hilton down there, stretching into foul territory. Tyler Venesti will come up to bat with 1 out already. Venesti's been a little bit quieter than usual lately, but can expect him to explode at any moment in time. I guess the longer this quiet spell goes on, the sooner that he'll be due.
Yes, exactly.
Bouncer in the dirt. Nothing to swing at there for Venesti. Venesti, ooh, one shimmied right around his bat.
Yeah, it looked like that was a very slow curveball, one of those 60-mile-an-hour curveballs.
Just foul on that right-hand side, trying to ride the line.
Fuea does a great job of mixing up his speeds on the same pitch. He throws a curveball a little harder, then a little softer.
Fuea, not the known ace in this rotation. That's Adam Cordy, who is really in that pitcher of the year conversation for most of the season, and his last outing was not good at all. Gave up a boatload of runs, and it changed the way that really the league looked at him, and he still made the All-Star, but not in that upper echelon anymore. 2-2 count. Fuea didn't get a good handle on that one as he puts it wide.
We always looked forward with Swift Current coming when Kenny Jenks was pitching. That was always a treat to watch him on the mound.
And for whatever reason, we would always land Kenny Jenks, and so he's still out there with the team coaching, but it is disappointing that we don't get to watch his great play anymore. We do get to watch Venesti's, however, as he's up the gut and into center field.
Venesti sat back on that slow curveball, got his timing that time.
And back to speaking about Kenny Jinks and the past for the 57s, that rotation was juiced last year. Cleaver Martina, who's now with Saskatoon, boy, he's a flamethrower. And then Adam Cordy was still there. He was their number 3 guy last year. And losing the first two, I think it's changed some of the matchups that Cordy has gotten and the responsibility that he's had. And obviously it's affected the 57s in the standings. It's no offer there.
It's so hard to replace quality pitching. You know, you can get other players that can come in and replace some of the position players, but when you have a Kenny Jinks in your top pitchers, oof, you're going to struggle the next season.
And I think it's almost the opposite in some ways for the Mavericks. Their bullpen last year struggled at times, and you get two guys like Luis Diaz and Diego Centella this year who have been shut down. And that has completely changed the method within this bullpen. And there's Kenny Jinks right now running onto the field doing ball boy duty. Good timing, Kenny.
Yep.
And within the Mavericks rotation this year, the main starting stable, they obviously lose Petersheim and they lose Novak from last year. Josh Landry wasn't here all year, but he had his moments where he looked good. But a guy like Xander Roberts has helped the Mavericks keep that starting rotation consistent, as that one's off the wrist at third base, and that would have been a tough play for Henriquez. 2 on now for the Mavericks. It is Roth and it is Venesti.
Yeah, that ball ate him up. That was scorched at him. Really no chance on that. So Roth on with his first hit.
And speaking of errors from before, clearly that one is not an error.
Right.
I just looked up at the board and I noticed that there's only one error up there now. So one of the last 2 plays has been recorrected. Not sure if it's the Freeman one or the Venesti one, but somebody has overruled the judge.
Yeah, neither one of them were errors in our opinion. And so Mavs got something cooking.
Taking that pitch is Adam Volcano. Struck out in his first at-bat, but he's been lively lately at the plate.
He's been having real quality at-bats.
Fuea. Here comes the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss.
A nasty change up there from Kuea.
He's not getting swings on anything above the bat's pace. They're all sneaking under.
Yeah, he's keeping his off-speed pitches low, which is where you want them.
This one's going to be popped up. Should be playable over at first base for Kane. He got crossed up, salsaing in the infield, and he makes the play.
That was a very good description there. He's got looked like he had hot feet going.
If it was Christmas in July again, we could have said he was skating on ice, but hey, you know that event has passed.
And I'm not so sure, unless you're more advanced on it than I am, I'm not so sure that Kane has played a lot of first base. He does not look very confident over there.
Yeah, I don't think last time that he was here we saw him playing over there.
No.
He is an infielder, but I don't think first base is his natural position at all. I want to say he maybe played middle infield last time, as that one's grounded into right.
Well, now that I look at it, he must be a first baseman because he's got a left-handed thrower, so he wouldn't be playing any other position except for first.
Well, we know that third base is often different because Brody Alexander has been down at that corner for years, and with him not in the lineup, Wilmer Henriquez has taken over the duties. Babiuk, a hot bounce into the stomach of the second baseman, and did they get the play? They did. A low throw to first base, and that will end the inning. 2 stranded for the Mavs. They can't convert, and more runners are left on base. It's been a frustrating start, and looks like head coach JT is going to come out of the dugout. Maybe have a quick conversation here. Must be about that throw over to first base.
Yeah, I might have pulled Kane off first base, but, you know, Babiuk didn't hustle out of the batter's box. He kind of jogged slowly, thinking that it was an automatic, and then he sped up at the end.
there's still quite the discussion going on over there. JT's now going to head back. And while he heads back, let's take a look at our head-to-head for tonight's game. And these are the first two pitchers that went when the 57s and Mavericks saw each other to start this season. Zach Kalinske has not pitched a lot since, only 11 innings with a 9 ERA and 14 strikeouts. He had 9 in that game alone. And Hunter Mark, he's had a lot more of a workload, 27 and 1 innings pitched, an 8.23 ERA, so very similar to Kalinske, 23 strikeouts, and obviously that comes with pitching more. So that's what the last two, or the starters from the first game have been up to since. And I'm not sure that we will see them in tonight's game, but they have not taken on that starter role as much lately. And we're back, top of the fourth here in Medicine Hat. This one's going to be popped up by Mapes. Is it playable for Volcano? It is not. I was going to say that one was almost out of your point of view on the broadcast. So there might have been a miraculous play that you wouldn't have been able to lay eyes on.
8, 9, and 1 for the 57s. Be nice to have a 1-2-3 inning from Foster.
I'm not sure what Foster's pitch count is at, but if he can keep it low, he might be able to use him more than they think tonight. This one over into right field, and the play is made by Micah Dvorak. The usual left fielder has found a new home for tonight with Yusei Uzawa in the game. He's on the left side. And Freeman always in center field. I feel like there hasn't been a game yet where Freeman hasn't played center field.
I think he started in center field the first game and it's been there ever since.
And that reminds
We've
me
seen Uzawa play shortstop. He's played the infield.
And there's really only been 2 names in center field over the last, I would say, 3 years. Before Freeman, it was Brody Gardner, who is one of the elite hitters in the WCBL, an all-star himself. Similar to Freeman, who was just named one earlier this week. Here's Voiko, strides forward. We'll have an official list, and I'm sure Wayne talked about it last night, of those representing the Mavericks at the All-Star game this year. Did want to mention before we get to that point, don't often like to use my bias on the broadcast, but the fact that Diego Centella is not an all-star with the numbers that he has put up is mind-blowing to me. I know he's on the Mavericks, and I know this is technically a Mavericks broadcast, but when you do that well, there's a reason to be named one. So that was my small push for Diego to be late named an all-star. There's an all-star from third base as Vanesti delivers out number 2.
Well, let's hope that he gets named as an alternative in case someone says, hey, you know, my arm's a little tender here in the next week and I can't go, and he'll at least get a chance to enjoy the festivities.
Voiko up on the mound. Ooh, it was a tricky one to get any piece of lumber on as it swerved its way around the bat of the leadoff hitter, Henriquez. There's one that hits dirt first. I think the only other name that I can come up with that I was going, that guy might have been able to be on the list. Well, Nathan Houston and Ethan Murdoch out of Saskatoon, but they have about 100 All-Stars going this year. So they didn't have enough room for everybody.
Yeah, it's hard when you have a team that's had as much success as the Berries have had this year to just limit it to 6.
Oh, a wild swing after a flaming hot pitch from Voiko. Oh, that one was aimed for the moon, but Voiko equal to the task. Blake Dale is going to pop this one foul, and that will pop us into the bottom of the 4th inning. Still on the mound is Shunta Fuea.
Blake Dale.
Fairly solid night.
Sorry, I was just going to mention Blake Dale's parents are here. He may not ever want them to leave because he's been hammering the ball since they've been up here.
Yeah, he said after that night when he hit that big-time home run out that the first thing that he did is he found his mom and he gave her a hug. He was super excited to celebrate with her. And, of course, his dad and his brother, who are both up here.
Last night when he hit that 2-run double, I called it a little bit of Wyoming magic. Not a lot of players from Wyoming in the big leagues, and we're pleased to have Blake up here with the Mavericks.
And I'd asked his family, I said, up here we don't know anything about Wyoming. Tell me a little bit, because they probably think about we think about Wyoming how they would think about Saskatchewan, that it's just all grass and kind of plains. But there's lots down there. Apparently there's skiing and...
It's a beautiful state, Wyoming. I've been there several times.
This one might go all the way to Wyoming. It's got wheels. Does it have enough? At the wall, it is gone! Blake Dale, have yourself a 3-game stretch. My, oh my.
Wyoming magic.
Wyoming magic, baby.
Wow, good for him.
I can't imagine what he's thinking right now. He's probably blurring out, and that jump says it all. Blake Dale, absolutely electric, and the Mavs have a 1-run lead, but it feels like 100 after a shot like that.
Well, we said he's not a man of big stature, but he has some pop in his bat, and he showed it right there. That was a great shot. Very happy for Blake. And getting back to Wyoming, Yellowstone National Park, one of the most beautiful parks in North America, is in Wyoming. Casper, Wyoming. Cheyenne, Wyoming has one of the greatest rodeos in the world, only behind the Calgary Stampede. And in terms of popularity, it might be as big as the Calgary Stampede. The Calgary Stampede has people coming there because of everything that goes on, the night shows and all of that, but the Cheyenne, Wyoming is famous. So a little bit about Wyoming.
And 2 things I want to say about that. You talk about the Calgary Stampede. It's always titled the greatest show on earth, not the greatest stampede on earth. So
That's true.
That's
Good
it.
point.
And also, who is Cheyenne and how can I meet her?
She's everywhere.
At the plate currently is Micah Dvorak. Dvorak can take that one for a ball. Count is 1-1.
Also, the Grand Tetons are just south of Yellowstone, the Grand Teton National Forest. The skiing there is phenomenal.
There's another ball from Fuea. And it's interesting when you ask players at the start of the season what are some other sports that you do, you rarely hear players saying I ski or I snowboard. It's usually I play basketball or football. This one is drilled foul and right. And I asked Blake actually with the skiing comment that they talked about a little his family, and they said they were never skiers or snowboarders despite being from down there.
Yeah, I think they're big into the hunting and fishing, and that's another huge sport in Wyoming.
Let's catch back up with the action here. Fuea. Here comes the pitch, and it's fouled off the toe of the bat by Dvorak. Nobody out yet. This is a chance for the Mavs to run away in an inning.
Yeah, they need that one crooked number inning where they can put up 4 or 5 runs.
Ooh, I was thinking that was going to be strike 3 as well. Ayala walking to the side, and he looked like he thought it was over.
I think Ayala tried to influence the home plate umpire by coming up in his stance like that.
Full count to Dvorak. Here's Fuea, and that one's going to be fouled aside by Dvorak.
Fuea is so confident in his curveball that he throws it at any count, which is a sign of a good pitcher. He has confidence in his pitches, and it's really tough as a hitter. Usually if it's a full count, you expect a fastball, but he's throwing different pitches on different counts. Benesti waited for that one and got a single, and let's see what Dvorak does.
Here's the 8th pitch of this matchup, and it's a hard one right into the glove of Reyes at second. He wasn't sure if he caught it off the hop or not. He throws it to first anyways. It's an out either way. That would have been a difficult catch to make if he did make it.
Yeah, I think he caught it right out in the air, so he was out, but he never took a chance. He threw it to first. That ball was scorched by Dvorak right at Reyes.
You say Uzawa in the box. Fuea and Uzawa. More work for Reyes. Plants that one over to first base for out number 2. Talk about that runaway inning, and this inning is getting away from the Mavericks here despite them now being up by 1. Looking at Fuea, pitched 3 and 2 innings, 39 strikes to just 24 balls. That's not a bad total.
No, that's very good.
Jeremy Freeman Jr. There's a strike from Fuea. 14 strikeouts on the season for Fuea. He's got 3 tonight as Freeman sends this one into orbit. It's got legs, it's got height, and it is gone! Second home run of the inning, and it belongs to Jeremy Freeman Jr. Boy, him and Blake Dale going shot for shot over the backfield fence. And the Mavs now have a 2-run lead.
Yeah, Freeman's got power galore, and that ball jumped off his bat.
3 home runs in 4 days for Jeremy Freeman Jr. And a jump into the pile over there outside the Mavs dugout. There's a little bit of life within their game now. There has been throughout, but even more so after the 2 homers. Volcano, did he join the party? Oh, that one is way gone. Volcano over the berm.
That was an absolute bomb. kids were going to catch it on top of the berm, and it went over them into the river.
Aaron Volcano, welcome to the show. We're having a home run derby out here at Athletic Park.
Back-to-back
Fuea.
pitches, back-to-back home runs.
And you can never count Tyler Vanesti out of it as well. Fuea is in a sticky spot right now, and there's going to be a talk with him and Rudy Estrella. There is a pitcher warming up in the 57's dugout. This could be it for Fuea here. He might not even get a chance to give Vanesti a home run-like swing.
Boy, that was an explosion of long balls, and that's it for Fuea.
No, don't blink. The score is all of a sudden 4-1 for the Mavericks. We're talking about this inning getting away from the Mavs, and then they throw two more over the fence.
Well, it was promising when Blake Dale hit a home run, and then there was two quick outs, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom.
And Fuea's ERA, I got a sneak peek at it. Before the home runs, it was only at like 440. Now it's at 981. What a change within just a couple of pitches to the plate. And new pitcher in the game for the 57s. We'll see who it is, and then, of course, get you a word. Broderick Bornstein. Could be Bernstein as well.
Well, it's on my program, it's got 43, but his number on his uniform is 34.
Is there another 34 in there?
No, there isn't. I was checking when he was in the bullpen, and I was thinking, who is warming up?
So I guess that's who we're going to be going with for now, is that it is Bornstein, or is it it could be Bernstein as well. We're figuring out on the fly what the name is. And I guess we'll let him warm up and figure out an official pronunciation and be right back. New pitcher in the game. We're still trying to figure out who is on the mound for the 57s. And it is a number 34. We have a name that we're going to go with. We're going to go with Bornstein, I think.
Well, maybe there is a mix-up on the program that we have. It's listed him as 43, and maybe it's supposed to be 34, because we don't have a number 34 listed.
And I'm looking on the official WCBL web page right now, and there is no 34. Here's one along the ground for Vanesti, and that will, it will not be. Got ahead of myself there, and I think so did Reyes as it squeaks through the wickets.
Yeah, Reyes came up, and the ball stayed down. That'll be an error.
Carter Roth gets signed from the dugout. And he will step up and, for the first time this game, face Bornstein, the redshirt freshman out of Hawaii Pacific University. Standing 6'1" on the mound, although looks a lot taller than 6'1" out there right now, which makes me think we might have the wrong guy.
Nevertheless, it wouldn't be a bad university to attend, would it? Hawaii?
Write an essay on the beach. There's a couple of players from Hawaii in this league.
Yes. Australia, Venezuela.
Well, I was looking, Lee Matsuzuki playing tonight in Lethbridge, and I think his dad has come to visit from there. I want to say his name is Mo. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I saw it earlier tonight. He greeted him while he was on the field as a bit of a surprise. A real cool moment in the WCBL.
Uzawa playing for the Mavs. He's also from Asia.
He's from Japan. Here's one that's popped over towards third base. Henriquez has a glove on it, and that is out number 3. And I think for the 57s, they weren't moving very fast after that out. I think they couldn't believe that it was the third finally, because that one took a bit. 3 home runs for the Mavericks in the inning. Volcano, then before that Freeman, and before that Blake Dale. It is a home run party here at Athletic Park, and the fans getting into it as well as their team ahead by 3. Gus Kane, the 2-batter in the lineup, playing first base tonight, is in against Voiko for another round as Voiko sends the first pitch, and it is sent right back his way, or more so Freeman's way, into left center field for out number 1. And Voiko will take that, trying to keep the pitch count down, see how many innings he can work, as he's at the very end of his Mavericks tenure, as we mentioned. Up the number 3 hitter, Silas Hilton in left field. Hasn't had a busy night out there so far. Had the 1 bobble early on, made 1 catch in the air. He's going to take that one low for a ball. Voiko's pitch count right now. Taking a look to see how many he's thrown tonight. 45 strikes, 29 balls. Got the ERA down to 2.08 in his 4 and 1 innings pitched. Voiko sends another one that way, and it is going to be a ball.
You know, 6 consecutive outs now by Voiko.
This one is going to be smashed over into left center. It's going to bounce off the wall. Freeman doesn't get it clean off the wall as it died on the hop, and it's thrown over towards Roth, and it is a double off the bat of Silas Hilton. Something in the works here for the 57s, feeling as though they got to get one back after giving up 3 in the last. It could have been a lot worse. If you give up 3 home runs in an inning, chances are that it's going to be more than 3 runs. They just got lucky they were all solo shots.
Yeah, exactly. Those don't sting as much.
Whoa. Talk about a pull of all pulls as Ayala sends that one left and foul.
Ayala 0 for 2 tonight. He flew out to center field and grounded out to Volcano on a 3-1 play.
If he's going to be hitting it that hard, you better have your hard hat on out there, both fielders and fans. Here's a throw from Voiko. Pitch from Voiko is going to be fouled off.
Lots of kids gathering out on the berm looking for those home run balls, and there has been quite a few hit lately. And of course, down the right field line, there's a group of kids playing in that berm area inside the fence.
Yeah, all wearing bright shirts out there tonight. Getting down in the butterfly to make that play is Jaden Babiak. And speak of the butterfly, I want to talk about a goalie quickly. I know I've mentioned her on the broadcast, but I do want to send out in official congratulations to Caitlin Ross, who local kid from Red Cliff, Alberta, just outside of Medicine Hat, and she's got a professional tryout with the Boston Fleet of the PWHL as of today. So congrats, Caitlin. Wish you all the best, and us in this community will be rooting you on as you go through your hockey career.
Yes, and that's Professional Women's Hockey League, the PWHL.
Voiko. Oh, a dicey pitch as he hand ties Ayala.
Another mention of Caitlin Ross is she's also on the national women's baseball team for Canada. Outstanding two-way athlete.
She said she's putting baseball on the back burner for now. It's all force ahead with hockey. But she could play any sport at the professional level. She's that talented as an athlete. And I guess speaking of talented athletes, Ryan Miller from Medicine Hat drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins. So a few local kids getting their chance on the big stage. Voiko. Into his glove. Look over at second base. 2 out. Just needs one more. This one going to be grounded foul. No, we'll just need one more strike to escape this top of the 5th. There's nobody warming up behind Voiko.
Both bullpens are quiet.
Of course, the 57s have already used one pitcher out of there in Bornstein, who's still in the game. But my guess is he'll get the next couple of innings.
Whoever that mystery pitcher is.
It might not be Bornstein. I'm going to be wrapped up by Jaden Babiak. Some things to look forward to later in this broadcast. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about the Mavericks All-Stars a lot more. We're going to be talking about who's in the Pitcher of the Year race around the WCBL. Of course, our Communities and Universities segment. And it's Friday night, so we got our player spotlight for the Mavericks. It is not a player who's in this game for the Mavericks tonight, so you can narrow it down. But it is a returning player, as we've mentioned, as always. So those are a couple of.
So I think that narrows it down to about 3, doesn't it?
Who would those 3 be?
Well, there's Morrison, Johnny Volcano, Max Hudlow,
Ryan Dexter.
Ryan Dexter. 4. 2's across the board.
Voiko. This pitch is sent into center field. A step back from Freeman, and he is under it. Another successful inning for Foster Voiko as he slowly walks off of the diamond. I don't believe that is it for his day. A confident walk from Foster. We'll see if we see more.
He's having a talk with JT right now, and I think maybe Voitko is trying to say, give me one more inning, but JT doesn't have anybody warmed up. We'll have to wait and see.
He's still talking to JT. He's almost chasing him down there to make sure that, he's got one more to go. Speaking of players that will be playing one extra game in the regular season, let's take a look at our All-Stars from this season for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. And it is Xander Roberts and Luis Diaz, the pitchers for the Mavs going. Tyler Venesti, Jeremy Freeman Jr., and Carter Roth, the 3 position players for the Mavs. Venesti making his 2nd All-Star game since playing in the WCBL. Everybody else is a first-time All-Star. Of course, Roth looking to add maybe an MVP to his resume this year with how good he's been. And Roberts aiming for the Pitcher of the Year. We'll talk about if he's in that conversation or not a little later, but those are your All-Stars for 2025 for your Medicine Hat Mavericks. Bottom of the 5th inning after another successful campaign from Foster Voiko. He's having his best night as a Mav, and why not save the best for last? The lights are on here at Athletic Park. Sky not quite pitch black yet. By that I mean it's not even close. It's weird that the lights are on at this point.
And in last night's game, the lights were on, I think, in the 1st inning or 2nd inning. It was very cloudy and dark.
Well, I think they might have gone on and turned off at one point, too.
They take a long time to heat up and light up to full, what is it called, luminancy?
I'm not sure if that's the term, but that's a really cool word, so we're going to go
It
with
is. It is. 3-1 to Volcano.
Volcano without a hit so far tonight. Batting 192 for the season. 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 15 for 78. Bornstein steps forward and floating that one into center field is Adam Volcano. That's a base hit to start things off. Taking a look at Bornstein a little deeper. An 8.88 ERA so far this season. He's pitched 24 and 1, or has 24 and 1 innings pitched and 21 strikeouts on the season. Jaden Babiuk ahead to the plate. We're bugging JT about this a couple days ago. Every time he sends a signal to his players down there, he does a quick clap right after. And people have been bugging him about it because it's a funny trait. He didn't even know that he did that, and it's one of those small nuances that you notice that he has. We talk about players having those nuances, but we have a coach with one as well. I think the most noticeable is the Volcano head shake that we see a lot. Dvorak always seems like he paints a little line in the dirt before he comes up.
I think a lot of coaches do that so that it's the end of the signal. And the players know that there's no more signals coming. You give your signals and then you clap your hands and that says, okay, that's the end of the signals.
So initially I thought that, but he does that every time he finishes talking. So I don't know if it's now it's just a habit that he's gotten into because he's done that so much.
Yeah.
But
so now Babiak's looking for the signals again. And there's that hand clap. And that's, I know I did that all the time when I coached, was always, the end of the signal on the hand clap.
Runner going to go here. And up in the air goes Babiuk. Sprinting back is Volcano, and he will get there.
So a little hit and run action tried by JT.
a little
Sometimes
bit
you'll
at
do
first.
that in place of putting down the sack bunt, but the intent is to create a little bit of havoc. The intent bunt or the hit and run to let's get something going in this inning, and that's the time to do it with a runner on and nobody out. Babiak's a good contact hitter. He's also a good bunter, so you got two options with him.
Wayne, let's play a game. Where is Blake Dale going to hit it this time?
You know, he's been on a roll, and I'm very happy for him.
And that's what you're going to need. Guys playing in that lower half of the lineup that are playing like they should be in the upper half of the lineup. And Dale is doing exactly that.
Well, if you want to play more, there's only one solution to that, and that's to play better. And Blake Dale, it's hard to take him out of the lineup now.
Dale. Bit of a ginger swing there.
Yeah, he tried to check his swing and just couldn't hold up. And it might have been better that it missed his bat than he just hits it up in the air on the infield, and it's an easy play. Ooh.
And Blake Dale down on strikes. Not sure he can believe it. Might be the first time he's struck out with his parents here. I'd like to go and see the numbers, but it hasn't
Well,
been
Bornstein wasn't messing around. He came after him with fastballs, all three pitches, and I think maybe on the last one, on the 0-2 count, Blake might have been thinking, I'm going to get an off-speed pitch, but it was another fastball, and it was a strike.
2 out for Micah Dvorak, 1 still on at first base as the Mavs looking to extend their lead, but in a fairly good spot at the moment, up 3. 8 hits on the night for them, opposed to the 57's 4, and 1 error apiece. As of course we talked before, was 2-1 point, but they've reversed the call. This one's going to miss for Bornstein. As Wayne alluded to, nobody warming up on either end. Good sign for Foster Voiko. Bornstein. There's the pitch, and it's going to be high.
Well, we did say that Foster's pitch count's at about 84, I believe. So, you know, I think he's feeling strong. He hasn't really been in much trouble.
Throw over to first. We're going to check on Adam Volcano. And after this at-bat, we'll check on who was named an All-Star for the 57s this year. We don't have a graphic for it, but we still want to recognize. We've talked about a few of them tonight. That one's going to speed by for a ball. Bornstein back onto the rubber here. Dvorak waiting for the pitch. Waddles that bat around. And that is going to be high, so a walk for Micah Dvorak. So who's going to the game? Luis Ayala. We mentioned his numbers, how good he's been. Mentioned that he was already a 2025 All-Star earlier. He will be there alongside him. Wilmer Henriquez. He's had an excellent season. Second in the league in home runs. Adam Cordy. Talked about how good he had pitched outside of his last game. And now that I'm talking through it, I'm not even sure who the other two are. I'll go and take a look on that for you folks. I think I know who the other one is, but, you know, we want to make sure we have this correct and give the right people acknowledgement. I will tell you this, that coming into this season, only one player on the 57s had made, or 2 players on the 57s had made an All-Star game prior. Wayne, who were they?
Kenny Jenks, Brody
Currently-
Alexander.
Currently with the team, so
Oh,
Kenny Jenks doesn't count. But you're right with Brody Alexander. He has 1 career All-Star appearance. He's played 5 years in the league, so with a guy that good, you would expect him to have at least 1. It is one you would not expect. It was somebody who was listed as a fill-in, and it was Nkosi Ditter, when he was with the Brooks Bombers, was named a late All-Star ad, and that was during the 2023 season.
I can't remember what I did yesterday, and now you're asking me to remember what happened in 2023.
Hey, Hey, I just wanted you to take an educated guess. I'm not sure if he would have been on your bingo card, though. Bornstein sends that one Uzawa's way. It is a strike. Count is 2-1 as we still look towards those Swift Current All-Stars and who they are. And speak of it, Brody Bornstein is an all-star himself on the mound. So he's right in front of my very eyes. The answer is there. You just couldn't claim it. It's like a multiple choice test and answer with a written response. As said before, Adam Cordy a part of that group. And then offensively, Silas Hilton was the last member there that I had not alluded to. Hilton, nice hit in his last at-bat. Here's Uzawa. He's going to pop it backwards. It'll go foul.
Uzawa having a good at-bat. His first at-bat, he had a good at-bat. He ended up walking, and then his second at-bat, first pitch, he grounded out, and now he's working the count again. Runners will be off on contact with 2 away.
Bornstein, here comes the throw. It's fouled away by Uzawa. And with Bornstein heading to the All-Star game, I guess I'll see him there because I also have the privilege to be able to do that. If anybody is listening to this broadcast and has the power to allow me to announce it, I would greatly appreciate it. You know, love talking about this league and being able to share more knowledge about it. And I think it would be a fun thing to do and a good opportunity. If anybody can make that happen, the bases are loaded here.
Well, that's a great piece of hitting by Uzawa. He just stuck his bat out, guided it towards the hole between short and third, and he loaded the bases with that single.
Loaded bases for Jeremy Freeman Jr. And before he gets going, I want to add one more note to that. Even if you don't know anybody who has the power to do that, go blow up the WCBL's social media and just say that you want the Mavericks announcing crew. Wayne, I'm committing you to this. You're coming with me. I can't do this alone at the All-Star game. We would very much appreciate that.
Well, you certainly deserve to be there, Truman.
Hey, we're a package deal, Wayne. And the players make it easy for us. They're what allow us to be able to call so many fun games and experience what it's like to be a part of the WCBL. Bornstein. This one's got a little jump off the bat. Does Freeman got another one all the way to the wall, and the play is made in right field. Oh, a beautiful grab. Rolling against the wall was Braxton Vale.
That was 4 feet short. We thought it was gone. I thought it was gone.
Freeman continues to feel it out here, but feeling the effects of the wall is Braxton Vale. Beautiful play by him. This one going to be hit up through center field, out of the reach of Roth, and it is base hit to start things off here for Ayala. Big one to get on here for the 57s as they look to pull back against a red-hot Foster Voiko on the mound, who this could be it for him. There is some stretching going on down there, and I do see a number down there. Looks like it's Danny Retzlaff. He's usually used as a starter. I think he might be down there just to cover. It might be A.J. Dahl coming in behind Foster Voiko, and that would make sense. Dahl hasn't pitched for a bit, so he could be in line.
Yeah, we just saw Retzlaff 2 days ago. This game is not out of reach for Swift Current at all. We're in the 6th inning, and we're kind of on cruise control after that inning of 3 home runs. But a 4-1 lead is not insurmountable at all.
I gotta say, this swing from Reyes reminds me a bit of Rafael Devers. That little jerk move that he does at the end is very Devers-like. He will hold up there. They're going to ask if he went. He did not. Good call by the umpire.
The outfield is not expecting him to pull the ball. Ozawa way over close to the line in left field. But last time I was thinking he was going to hit it to the left side, and he hit it to the second baseman.
Reyes also has a very animated approach.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a little Juan Soto in him with some of the antics that are going on. You know, Jaden Babiak on the Mavs, he does a bit of that as well. This one's going to be hit over into right field. So it's a base hit for Reyes. Nobody out, 2 on, and JT's going to come out of the dugout and either have a word with Voiko or he's going to take him out of this game.
Yeah, he just laid that curveball on a 3-1 count in, and Reyes just hooked it a little bit into right field for an easy base hit.
And you can see Voiko is really pleading his case out there, along with several members of the Mavericks swatting bugs out of their face. Aaron Volcano, he's shaking his head left and right here. He's having real trouble with mosquitoes or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what kind of bugs are out there, but they're doing their job. They're bugging.
I think Foster's has a good outing, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he was taken out. But obviously Foster and JT had a conversation about it. Babiak might have been in on it. He might have been saying that, hey, we got this.
You know, the car's only going to go so far before it runs out of gas, and the same goes for pitchers.
Yeah, well, he's getting close to that 95, 100 pitch count.
There's a strike from Voiko. If he does a lot more of that, he'd be in good hands.
Well, you got the number 8 hitter up, and Mavs are expecting a bunt. The corners are in, and Mapes did gesture that he was attempting to bunt.
And there's a bunt being thrown down. Voiko over to third, and they're going to get the lead runner. Boy, that's thinking on your feet by Voiko. He saw it in his headlights and made the right play.
Well, Foster knew as soon as he got it on the first or second hop that he had a chance at the runner at third. It is a forced play, and that bunt has to be down the baseline. It just can't be back to the pitcher, and unfortunately for Swift Current, it was.
Well, and it can't allow Voiko to be turned the other way, and in that case, he was turned towards third base. It was going to be an easier play there than going back to first.
Yeah, he fielded it properly, too. He came in at an angle knowing that I can get the guy at third before he even fielded the ball.
Now, if you're the 57s, do you try it again? You have 2 on, then there's going to be 2 out, which...
Yeah, right now, you want to get the runners into scoring position with nobody out. Now, unless the hitter's going to bunt on his own, I doubt whether Swift Current would look to bunt again.
Vale. Swing and a foul off. This is a massive moment for the 57s, trying to sneak Reyes across the finish line. And And even just getting one here, cutting the lead in half, that's going to
Yes.
do big things throughout the rest of this game. There's lots of time. Even if you don't get two, you're not out of it. Even if you don't get one, you're really not out of it. But you have to chip away at some point, and it can start here. Here's one that's going to be grounded up the middle. Roth's going to make the play. Flip over to second. Down to first. It's going to be missed, and it's going to hit the batter. Volcano's going to throw to second. He would have had an out at first, and they get him at second.
Oh, they're not counting the run at home.
Wow.
I thought he scored on that.
And Estrella is furious. I thought he scored on that as well, Wayne. I was waiting on it. I didn't see an official call from the home plate umpire. He makes it late. He gestures to the audience and probably our statistician upstairs that's the call. Estrella still not happy. This is going to be a 4-1 ball game. I'm not sure how it's still a 4-1 ball game. Volcano going back to second. He could have thrown it to home plate. They would have Reyes easily.
Estrella just threw his cap into the dugout, or his helmet he wears at third base. That was a great play by Carter Roth. He never even got it out of his glove. He flipped it to Volcano at second with his glove in a horizontal position. Volcano nearly had the runner at first on a miraculous double play. The ball got by his brother at first base, but he hustled after it. The one thing about the Volcanos, and we talk about it all the time, they never take a play off. Aaron hustled after it, made a good throw to second base for the third out, and in the meantime, Reyes, who was at second base, didn't score in time. Now that play, folks, you're going to have to look at it at home yourself to see whether or not you agree with the umpire, but there was a lot of action going on, Truman.
There was a lot of action, a lot to keep up with, and we should get you up to date on this as well as far as Rudy Estrella goes. It's common knowledge that he's been ejected a lot this year, so he's got to make sure to keep things under control down there, and it looks like he's done so for the most part, so good on Rudy. Just cannot let it boil over this time around as Bornstein getting ready to get back into this game. Getting in a couple of throws at the mound, and while he does so, let's take a look around the rest of the WCBL at what's going on. The Fort Mac Giants up 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning against the Okotoks Dogs. Upset alert potentially there. We know the Dogs, they are good at playing from behind. Can't be good at playing from behind a lot of the time, but Okotoks has found the formula. And so is Sylvan Lake, but thankfully for them, they are up tonight 3-1, top of 7 against the Brooks Bombers. Of course, you know what's happening in this game. It's a 4-1 Mavericks lead that almost didn't look that way after what we just saw. It is 2-2 in Weyburn. The Beavers need to claw back into the playoff race. They've lost some just so close games. They've lost some really close games over the last few, and they're tied with the Berries. This is one they just need to win. And we keep saying that with Weyburn, but at this point, they're going to fall 6 or 7 games back in Moose Jaw, and it's just not realistic for them to catch up. Another team that is trying to stay in the playoff race is Energy City, as this one flies over to left field. Should be playable for Hilton, and he's got a glove on it. As the Energy City Cactus Rats are leading 4-3 on the road in Lethbridge tonight against the Bulls. That one in the bottom of the 5th, so lagging a bit behind the rest of the league scores. And for Lethbridge, they did not have one of their big names on the mound tonight. It wasn't Abbott, and it wasn't Getz, and it wasn't Marikovic, who's been really good. So that may explain why Energy City's in the lead and why the Bulls have given up 4 runs. Most of their pitchers do not give up 4 runs in a game, which is tough to do in the WCBL.
Well, the longer a team like Swift Current stays close to the Mavs, they get the advantage because they've got nothing to lose by playing risky baseball. And this game is too close for my liking.
This one is going to go foul into the bullpen. A.J. Dahl's still warming up down there. He should be in for the 7th. And, just as you alluded to, very much, it's too close for the Mavericks' liking. And the one thing is I'm sure the Mavericks right now aren't nervous. It doesn't seem like they're playing nervous baseball out there.
No.
And that's one thing that they've adopted within their identity this year is just always believing that they're going to win every game regardless of the score, even in games that they're up, and a bouncer over Reyes' head gave him a haircut on the way through, and Vanesti with a base hit. If they roll that one in air, I'll eat my hat.
That took the most unusual bounce that we've seen in a long time.
Peculiar, some would say.
Yeah, Reyes was right in front of it, and all of a sudden it was behind him.
Carter Roth up with one on.
Well, Vanesti is probably thinking, I got robbed so many times, I was due for one of those lucky bounces.
Ooh, and a nice little play by Ryan Reed over at third base. I'm sure the 57s would have liked to have had him over at second for that play. No, I don't think anybody's making that play. Not even Nolan Arenado. You could put some of the best defenders in the world there. Maybe Shaquille O'Neal with his height would be able to catch a ground ball like that. This one might be playable behind home plate. Catcher keeping his mask on, and Ayala still makes the play. That's
good
2
play.
down.
Especially when you don't know the ballpark. That's a good play for a catcher, not knowing the dimensions very well. Ayala has played quite a bit here in Medicine Hat, so he would be somewhat familiar.
And he's one of the best defenders
He is
in
very,
the entire
very good.
league, and that's as a catcher. At school, he had a 1,000 fielding percentage as a catcher when he was playing NAIA ball. You never hear about that.
Yeah, I've never heard about that in any league.
He's also a Gold Glove winner. Yeah, had a perfect field percentage in 2023 is the exact note that I have. Throw down to first from Ayala. And now we see the cannon that he possesses.
Well, he's definitely one of the better catchers that we have in the East Division. We don't get to see all of the teams, so it's hard to say that he's the best in the league, but certainly he's one of the better ones.
Here's one that is poked foul. Back to that catch by Ryan Reed that kind of started this whole cycle prior. He was actually a former player, so some natural baseball talent there from Ryan Reed. Here's one from Volcano.
Wow.
That one is far gone. Another souvenir for the fans. 4th home run of the game for the Mavericks. And Adam Volcano adds his name to the list.
You could tell just by the crack of the bat. And he knew it. He just started jogging towards first. He knew he cracked that one.
It's a fire pit at Athletic Park. So many players are hot at the moment. Adam Volcano, Jeremy Freeman Jr., Blake Dale, the list goes on and on and on. This is a team you don't want to run into right now, and the Mavs have a 6-1 lead, showing why.
I feel a little bit better now about the lead.
Here comes Jaden Babiak. There's a chance that everybody in the lineup hits a home run tonight. That's a bit far, but you can only dream. Babiak. Long swing and a miss. Babiak has, I think, 2 or 3 career home runs. I think he had hit 2 of them in the same game over in Brooks. He has never had one here at Athletic Park.
Well, we know he's got warning track power because he has hit the odd one to the warning track.
And he's got base hit power. Lots of that from Babiak. That went into straightaway center.
That's his second hit of the night, 2 for 4.
It's giving me lots of people to talk about in the post game today. And we still got 3 innings to play after this. Two out, 1 on. Blake Dale in at the dish.
Dale is 2 for 3. Solo home run.
Swing and a miss. That one was a long ways away. Stick out the fishing rod.
Yeah, that was in the other batter's box. Well, Bornstein got him last time by throwing him all fastballs.
This one is popped backwards. Oh! It almost hit the glass. I think there might be some concern for a fan back there.
Yeah, he put his hand up, and now he's regretting putting his hand up because he's trying to ease the pain. Those balls, when they're spinning like that, boy, do they sting.
Throw over to first. I know my sister was sitting over there at one point, so I got a little bit of concern up here, but I see her and she's okay, so just wanted to confirm that. There's strike three. Back-to-back times where Blake Dale goes down on 3 consecutive pitches. So he's gone a little dry since the home run, but home run still has his spirits up. And speaking of up and away went the ball off of Adam Volcano's bat for the Mavs' 4th homer of the night. And back for the top of the 7th inning as we are nearing the end of the game, and the Mavs have a 6-1 lead, but still some time here for the 57s. They do have to be kicking themselves for not getting any runs in the last inning, however.
Yeah, runners on first and second, nobody out. And they couldn't get that sacrifice bunt down. Boydko made a great play to get the out. And then after that, the defense came to play.
And A.J. Dahl playing one of his last games in a Maverick uniform, similar to Foster Boyko. Don't know when his expected time of departure is or what date it is, but it will come sooner than later as he has to tie his shoe here. He's going off to play at North Dakota State, as we mentioned before, NCAA Division I baseball.
The Bisons. Big-time football program, hockey program, and now baseball.
Here's the delivery from the kid from Lee's Summit.
Missouri, beautiful. I've been to Lee's Summit. Beautiful little town, small city.
If you can't tell by now, Wayne has traveled a lot of places. He's an avid traveler, and he's had some experiences that not a lot of people would have gotten to.
Well, I was fortunate. I had some sons that played baseball in the States and followed them around.
Here's the pitch from Dahl.
Wow.
Oh, what a play by Roth. And he converts it to first. Oh, get some icy hot for that hand, Carter.
That is his third tremendous play tonight. That one in the hole earlier on in the game where he did the Jeter-esque jump and throw to first, that double play behind second base, that he shoveled it out of his glove, and now this one. That was a tremendous play. Folks, you got to be appreciating what a game he's having on the defensive side.
Natural born shortstop. Whoever's managing the All-Star game might be taking notes going, we got to move him here instead. That one going to go through Babiuk. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, if you can watch the replay on that, that ball was about to eat him up, and he took a step back to get the read on it and then got his glove in the perfect position.
Yeah, the fact that he timed his step back right also is
Yes.
impressive. No bite there as Dahl's going to miss wide for the second consecutive time. And up for the 57s is Gus Kane. Kane waiting on it from Dahl, and he'll foul that one wide for strike one.
You know, one of the highlights of this game so far is the defense has taken it away from Swift Current. Every time they had a chance, it seems to be that our defense came up really strong. Whether it was fielding by Voitko on the bunt last inning, this type of a play, that's a certain single, if not a double.
And it's not one of those things where, and we saw this a little bit with Moose Jaw last night, not saying it's the reason they won the game because they certainly outplayed the Mavs, but they were hitting it in all the right spots. I don't know if that's the case for Swift Current. They're just getting outdueled. And that isn't any of their fault. It's just been stout defense.
Yeah, in some cases they deserve a better fate, but on the other case, these plays aren't by accident. These players practice, and they're just very good at their trade.
That one is low. Kane batting .256 on the year, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs, 3 for 117. So he's been at the plate a lot.
That was a great
pitch.
pitch.
Over towards Adam Volcano. He puts it into the glove of Aaron for out number 2. That one a little more palatable on defense for the Mavericks.
That was a great pitch by Dahl, right in on the hands, on the part of the plate that's tough to get your barrel to, and he didn't get the barrel to it.
So with Kane down, it'll bring up All-Star Silas Hilton. .57s, even with 2 out, they need to get someone on base. And you don't want to waste the top of your order here. I'm sure you'd like to have it in innings further, be able to flip it back around. If they only get one on and Ayala comes up and goes out, then that's not great. But if they can get Ayala on to start next inning, then get his brother up, of course, and Prychek, some big dogs. This one's going to be shielded aside. Long way to go for Dvorak, and there was no chance of getting that one. Hilton batting .305 this year. Just 3 home runs. Not a lot of power throughout this 57s lineup. The average hasn't been great either, but they have guys like Hilton and guys like Ayala. Ooh.
Oh. 0-2.
Hit him in the numbers.
Might have been coming inside on an 0-2 pitch, but, you know, that's got to hurt. That wasn't a glancing blow.
And Gary Dornan was explaining to me, on a pitch like that, oftentimes the pitcher is starting their throw at the hitter, and if you don't get any turn on it, there's your result.
Yeah, and that was a fastball. Sometimes you're throwing that curveball on the inner part of the plate, and it might be at the hitter, and you hope to break it across, but that was just a fastball that No chance to get out of the road.
Good play by Babiuk down
Very
low
good.
to get there with the glove.
He didn't even try to catch it. He just tried to block it, which was a great play.
It's a Heisman-worthy stiff arm to get that ball in front. Long wait for Dahl. Here comes the pitch. There's a strike.
Alejandro Kirk, if you've ever watched any of the Blue Jay games, I know you're a Yankee fan, but I watch the Blue Jays a lot. He just tries to block those balls that are out there. He doesn't even try to catch them because he knows that he can block it. He can't catch it.
Good play by Babiuk. That had him in the splits.
A Caitlin Ross-esque play.
I like that second name drop of the night for Caitlin.
Good pitch.
Some freezing
Great
stuff out
curveball.
there from
Yeah.
Dahl. Well, they're waiting for it to run away like the one before that took a banana swerve. Dahl. This one sent into center field. And once again, the off speed, although it's contacted this time, it's not hit far enough. And that is out number 3. And we are going to head out for a quick moment as Wayne, I think you have a surprise coming up your way on the stairs again. It might be a little treat from an audience member. We'll be back. This one fouled aside by Micah Dvorak. So another inning for Bornstein. Somebody warming up behind him. Can't quite get that number yet. Looks like either 41 or 47. And if it's 41, it's Jorge Mazaleon, one of my favorite names in the league. And I think it is because there's no 47.
Whoever it is down there, he's got a little giddy up on his arm. He's got a very easy throwing motion, and the ball jumps out of his hand.
One's going to be a ball. Talked to Micah Dvorak pregame today, and he feels as though he's in a bit of a slump. At least from what we're accustomed to seeing, he is. And he says, I just got to get back to not caring anymore. And that was something that helped him a lot last year. And I think he's still trying to figure that out. But when you're out of it, it's hard to know how.
Well, you start changing things, your stance, your how you hold your hands, and then you're never sure which is working. So you just got to stick to what has got him here.
Swing and a miss there from Dvorak.
And that's a sign right there. That pitch wasn't a strike. 3-1 count. You're looking for a cookie right down the middle, and that pitch wasn't close. So he's starting to second guess himself a little bit.
Because that's a pitch he never used to swing
Yeah,
at.
exactly.
He worked a lot of walks last year. Here's the pitch from Bornstein. This one is going to be grounded over to first, and it's going to get through the glove. Dvorak hustling it out. He gets hit with the ball, and he's there. Be interested to see what the ruling is.
Yeah.
They rule it in there.
Yeah, that was probably a makeable play. It did look like it had some spin on it and might have spun away from Kane, but good hustle by Dvorak. He got down there. And no matter how you get there, you're where you wanted to be when you went up to bat.
Here now is Yusei Uzawa with one on, nobody out.
It might be a bunt situation.
Uzawa. This one is going to go a ways into left. Hilton is under it, and that is going to be out number one.
He's got Babiak power. Hitting it to the warning track.
That's fair. And speak of Hilton, he went all the way back to a sign that might rival his last name, and that is Town Place Suites by Marriott, the official hotel of the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Not Hilton enjoyers over in this part. Dvorak's going to go. Here's the throw from Ayala, and it's going to hit Dvorak on the way through, and he's going to scamper to third. Dvorak is in with a couple extra bags and sets himself up well and does the same for Freeman.
Not many teams run on Ayala's arm. Dvorak got a good jump. And he would have been safe even had the throw not went off of him, but I believe it went off of Dvorak, and he scampered over to third. Runner in scoring position with only one out. That'll be a stolen base and an E2.
Freeman. That one's going to stay fair. Oh, I thought it was going to bounce to that left side. Dvorak in to score. Freeman over to second base.
I'm not sure whether Dvorak screened. Enriquez a little bit down there. The ball went right beside Dvorak. And Enriquez looked like he hesitated pulling his glove out, but double for Freeman, irregardless. Oh, they gave him an error.
And Rudy Estrella out to the mound. This might do it for Bornstein.
Yeah, it is.
And it is for Bornstein. So we will step away and go to commercial break while the 57s get a new pitcher in, and we believe it is Jorge Mazaleon. Bottom of the 7th inning here from Athletic Park in a 7-1 ball game for the Mavericks. New pitcher in the game for the 57s, Jorge Mazaleon, one of my favorite names in the WCBL. Aaron Volcano at the plate. Here comes the pitch. Volcano is swing and a miss. He's got a home run on the docket tonight. So does Freeman, who's on the base path. And Wayne, some exciting news from northern parts. Can you announce what you were telling me in the break?
I'm sorry.
You weren't wrong. You can't remember what was said 2 seconds ago.
I'm enjoying this delicious ice cream that your family bought me.
Well, I'll let you finish that, and then we'll get back to what I was alluding to earlier. Volcano, favorable count, 2-1. Throw over to second. They're not going to get Freeman.
Yeah, in regards to what's been happening, owner Greg Morrison, the owner of the Medicine Hat Mavs, his team, I mentioned this last night, his team is up playing for the provincial championships. They won yesterday. They won again today. And the winner of that goes to Kingston, Ontario for the Canadian 13 and under championships. So good luck to Greg. Good luck to his team. And good luck to the Mavs for the rest of the season.
Yeah, lots of greatness being shown in Medicine Hat. I've been trying to find a way to put into a phrase a way to talk about Medicine Hat and their championship pedigree, because the Tigers obviously winning the WHL championship and all of the big wins that have been happening around the community. And I haven't landed on anything yet, like some fun wordplay on Medicine Hat. So if you have an idea, I mean, email us as always at broadcast@themavericks.ca. You know, you hear about Champa Bay when all those teams in Tampa Bay were winning. Something along those lines is what we're looking for, digging for. Ooh, that one is going to plunk Vanesti. Second time he's been hit in this game. He's off to first, and the bases, they are full. Not a good start to the evening for Mazaleon.
Yeah, it was a I shouldn't say it was a fastball. It was a curveball that hit him on the right hip, so that's going to leave a bruise. Hopefully it doesn't tighten up and turn into a Charlie horse cramp for Vanesti.
It's like playing paintball out there right now for Vanesti.
Yeah.
Here's Mazaleon. And I appreciate our PA announcer letting Dr. Dre play a little longer. As a rap fan myself, can appreciate.
The umpires had their hands up waiting.
They weren't waving because they like
no,
music?
they weren't waving at us to say hello.
Roth. Survival swing there as it goes fouling into the tree.
Yeah, that was right in on his hands. Roth 1 for 4 tonight. 1 for 3, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, 1 for 4.
This one's going to wobble its way to the shortstop. There's out one, and it is airmailed. So Freeman will get in. They might get two back over at third, and hanging onto the bag for dear life was Aaron Volcano.
That was a tremendous slide to avoid the tag. He thought the throw was overthrown at first, and it was about a third of the way down the line. Very lucky to get back, but Roth on with the fielder's choice. He'll get an RBI for that.
That looked like a water skier losing his skis and still hanging on to the rope at the back of the boat. Back to the mound where Mazaleon works. Mavs now lead 8-1. Got 13 hits on the night as well. Adam Volcano at the plate. He's got a home run tonight. He's going to take that for a strike.
I wonder how many times the Volcanoes have homered in the same game. This is the first that I can recall. Adam and Aaron both have a home run tonight.
Johnny's got to be kicking himself that it's his rest day.
Yeah,
Why can't
exactly.
I join the party?
That would be something to see all Volcanoes homer in the same game.
There's a strike to Volcano. Count 2-2. Someone just go on a mic and yell boo after that call?
I did hear the same thing, but I wasn't sure if I actually heard it. So
Yeah,
now that you mention
I'm
it,
shocked. And the crowd a little bit shocked at that one, but that was a pure strike. Umpiring's been really good tonight at home plate, I've got to say, and that's a strikeout to Adam Volcano. The Mavs keep their run total on the up and up. It is another 2. It's 8-1. Eight to 1 Mavs lead in the top of the 8th inning. 57s have slowly fallen behind, and it doesn't feel like they've played their worst game tonight. You know, they've been putting bat to ball, been reading things well in the box, and there hasn't been a ton of errors on their side. I mean, it does say 3 on the board, but that's debatable.
That's debatable. Yeah, it's just the Mavs have played consistent throughout, and their depth is starting to show through. You know, they've got 4 home runs, and that, you know, it's tough when the other team's hitting 4 home runs on you. So the Mavs have just continually put the pressure on.
The one thing for the Mavs is playing in a game where you're trying to grab the lead. It's good to get that experience. But when playoff time does come around, it's not the 57s who you're going to be seeing. And they have shown beyond this game, however, that against Regina and against teams that are in the mix, Okotoks, that they can still do that. So this is just some reassurance that they still got that mojo.
Well, I wasn't feeling very comfortable with a 4-1 lead, and that was going into, I believe, the 6th inning, and all of a sudden we scored 2. I felt more comfortable, and now with an 8-1 lead, I feel much more comfortable.
Especially with A.J. Dahl on the mound.
Yeah.
As he gets a strikeout there. That's why you feel comfortable.
Is that the beer batter, Casey Prychek tonight, or who is the beer batter?
Well, I know when they asked me at the start of the night who I would have picked for the beer batter, I went with Casey Prychek. Because he's done some damage here before, so you want to get in the batter's head, and he's also shown that he's struck out a couple of times throughout this year, so you want to go with a guy who's been doing that. But they didn't announce. I think they announced once this game, maybe. Of course, for our new listeners, the beer batter is it's you get $1 off beer with the person that strikes out. Of course, that's a fans only promo. You at home can get one from the fridge anytime. Lucky you.
Yeah, we don't deliver.
We don't. Well, we don't have any. So.
Oh.
Right up near the nose area.
Ayala, I think he's saying a quick prayer there on the on-deck circle. That one was right up by the chin.
1-1 the count. Just a single out. And the Mavs heading forward after Swift Current. You know, we just saw Moose Jaw. They're about to see them again tomorrow. Saturday game before a day's break on Sunday. Originally it was going to be a 2-day break, but because of a rain delay earlier last month on the 20th, that being a Friday in June, now Saskatoon will come and play on Monday the 14th, 7:05 start as per usual. And then the Lethbridge Bulls for the final time this year will play the Mavs unless they meet in the finals and come to Medicine Hat, of course, again, unless they meet in the finals. 2 down now with a grounder over towards Tyler Vanesti. And for the Bulls, they've been a strong team this year. I think an unexpected power haul. We watched Max Benton, who was supposed to be their ace, get chewed up out here, and the Mavericks played one of their better offensive games of the year against him. Max Benton's no longer with the team now, and it's been some of the unexpected names. Brett Getz, Levi Abbott had the talent. It was putting it together. He has. And then Marikovic as well. Wow, the trio that they have. I wouldn't want to face a team like that if I'm in the WCBL in the playoffs.
Well, the playoffs is a sprint. You need pitching, and you need pitching depth.
Here's a grounder. Almost hit second base, and it'll be out of the reach of Adam Volcano for a base hit. So Reyes, who's had a couple tonight, is back on the base path.
That was one of the... I'm sorry, Truman. That was one of those plays that was hit right up the middle, and both Volcano and Roth went for it. And I think they both decided that it's not worth the collision because you don't call that. You just have to play it. And I saw Carter at the very end just pull up a little bit to let it go through.
And what I wanted to mention is somebody brought up a really good point. Ryan Reed was on the road, and a fan of the Regina Red Sox went up and asked him. He said, Regina is so good during the regular season. Why can't we do well in the playoffs? And part of that is because it's baseball. But one thing about the WCBL that's unique is these players have collegiate seasons. They have schools they need to return to, as that ball is going to go through the glove of Volcano at first and be thrown back to Dahl on the mound. But players have to leave to go back to school. And during the playoffs is when teams start needing players collegiately. So that is why oftentimes you see a lot of players not play in the playoffs up here, is because they've gone home. And a team like Regina has seen an overhaul in the playoffs, losing a lot of their best guys. Dahl is going to wait for things to get organized here. So part of it is getting hot at the right time. Yeah. Part of it is being able to endure what the sprint can bring to you, and the other is having your best players all at the same time. So a little bit of luck. Dahl couldn't quite bring it down.
Reyes looks like he's hurting over at first base. When he went back on Babiak's throw from home plate, he might have pulled something.
Babiak's going to jump on top of that one.
Yeah, the playoffs, they're just best of 3, day off, best of 3, day off, best of 3.
Dahl isn't getting any chases this time around. Now, fortunately for him, there are 2 out, but now there are 2 on. If there's a spot here for Vale to put one far, he took away what could have been a key hit after he leaned up against the wall to snag one away from Freeman. We thought that it was gone. can he put one in a similar direction, but make sure that it clears that fence?
Well, he came up with runners on first and second his last at bat and hit that ball up the middle that Roth laid out for, flipped it from his glove to Volcano, and that's started the whole sequence of events where the Mavs got a double play out of it without a run scoring. Vale was out trying to go from first to second, and the runner at third at that time didn't score. That was Louis Avila, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Something got into Vale's eye. Yeah, something got into Vale's eye, and he asked for time. A little late in granting it, but...
Well, I'm not even sure the home plate umpire saw it. I think it was the umpire over near second who did the initial wave. Ooh, that one off the end of the glove, and both runners will advance. So 2 in scoring position now for the 57s.
It'll be a passed ball. That's where those extra add-on runs are really coming into play for the benefit of the Mavs. 4-1 versus 8-1. That's a big difference.
Vale is behind on that one. Jammed him a little bit as he fouls it over into left foul territory. Once this inning concludes, we will have our award watch segment where we take a look at who is in the Pitcher of the Year convo. Of course, still to come tonight, we have our communities and universities. That'll be after the bottom of the 8th. And we're also going to jam in there our Friday night spotlight. Maybe we'll get both next inning if we're lucky.
There was a cross-up there between Babiuk and Dahl. Dahl threw a curveball, and Babiuk got fouled up on that. He reached up, and it bounced right in front of him, or right off his glove. So they've got their signals together now.
We have good news. I think our center field camera, finally in the 8th inning, has gotten less buggy, and we now can use it. Dahl. That one's a ball.
Could be loading the bases for the top home run hitter for the 57s. Wilmer Enriquez on deck, top of the order.
And you called it, Wayne. The bases are loaded. So off to first is Vale. What would a grand slam do for the 57s here? Enriquez is chasing the league lead, so there's more on the line than just getting his team back into the swing here. There's going to be a talk with A.J. Dahl. Nobody warming up behind him. So it must just be to calm him down, maybe even buy some time and get somebody warmed up over there. I don't see any movement as of now. And as we said, Dahl hasn't pitched a lot lately, so he's got a lot. You can use him for a lot of innings.
Well, Enriquez, I mean, this is, when you're a home run hitter, this is what you want, this opportunity to come up with runners on base. And even if he doesn't hit a home run, I mean, you're going to score a couple of runs here with a single. So a prime opportunity for the 57s to get right back in this game. And I don't think they could have a better hitter up if you're looking at it from a 57s fan or a team viewpoint.
Dahl will step off of the mound. We've seen Dahl have some gutsy performances before. Does he have that in him against one of the league's best power hitters? Here comes the throw, and that is strike number 1. Start off on the right foot if you are A.J. Dahl.
Yeah, good curveball. Enriquez 1 for 4 tonight. He does have an RBI on the sac fly to left field in the second inning.
This one is ripped by Henriquez, and it is foul. That would have scored potentially 3 with the line that was going on into the left corner.
Again, a curveball, which is good. You want the hitter to get out front. So now 2 curveballs in a row. Dahl has a very good fastball, so now Enriquez has got to be thinking, what am I going to be getting? And for Dahl, he just can't make it too good. He's up 0-2.
This one is going to be fouled backwards.
Boy, that was a good fastball.
Dahl back to work in an 0-2 count. 2 outs, bases full behind him. This is the definition of pressure. And a swing and a miss. Babiuk down to first, and they get him.
What a play by Babiuk.
That is not giving up on it. We saw a similar play from the Okotoks Dogs with a ball that got by earlier this year. The difference is Babiuk sticks to it, and he guts it out for the final out, and the Mavs keep an 8-1 lead in their hands.
And that's knowing your home field as well. He knew that ball was coming right back, and he turned around right away, took a couple of steps, and then a great accurate throw. What a play by Babiuk.
And now let's take a look at our award watch for tonight, and it is Pitchers of the Year, or those that are in the Pitcher of the Year debate. Levi Abbott, a sub-1 ERA. We never see that in the WCBL. If you got a sub-1 ERA, you're doing a lot right, and I mean a lot. He's got to be the front runner at the moment. Blake Johnson is near the top of the league in both strikeouts and ERA as well. He is firmly behind Abbott, but he's right there. Colton Anderson, the winner last year, looking to become the first ever pitcher to win 2 Pitcher of the Year awards in the WCBL. Who knows? He's been working his way closer and closer. He's got an ERA in the 2s. Never count Anderson out. And Matt Whitney was the league leader last year for most of the season in wins. He was up there in strikeouts. It was looking like he could win the Triple Crown at one point when he was playing for Fort Mac. And now, with the Berries, he's gotten that magic back, and he has a chance to claim what fell out of his hands last year, and that is the Pitcher of the Year award. So those are the members who are firmly in it this year. And speaking of award winners, here's someone who might just work his way into the MVP conversation with how he has played as of late. His power has been dominant. His batting average up to 270. Your Friday night spotlight goes to Evan Morrison, the newest member of Hastings College in Nebraska, nephew of Mavericks owner and GM Greg Morrison. He started playing baseball at the age of 5, and he also played basketball in high school. You can see that within his frame that he would be cut out for the courts.
Also, son of the head groundskeeper, Jeff Morrison, for the Mavs.
Jeff does a terrific job. Nobody works more hours here. He is here before everybody, and he leaves well after the stands are cleared. The players obviously do a big part in that as well, but Johnny Volcano in this week's episode of Dynamic Duos, if you haven't checked it out yet, go and take a peek. It's on YouTube. Gave a shout out to Jeff Morrison and all his hard work. He said it makes the player's job easier to have someone like Jeff who's so committed. Back into the batter's box goes Babiuk. Babiuk, another member of the grounds crew here at Athletic Park. That one is fouled off.
Jeff Morrison was a very good baseball player in his day as well. Very good hockey player. And I had the privilege of coaching Jeff when he was in 15 and under division.
It's taken for a ball. So you're saying if you have the last name Morrison that you're probably pretty good with bat in hand.
Well, Ross Morrison was an outstanding baseball player, the father of Jeff and Greg. in his day, he's in the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame.
Here's a good hit from Babiuk into center field, and that play is going to be made by the center fielder. That is Jose Ayala out there.
So there's some good baseball genes in the Morrison family. Older
Dale
brother
makes his way to
Blake
plate.
Morrison was a very good baseball player too. I know the family, obviously.
We might as well give a shout out to Burke Morrison, who's playing up north as well in that tournament that
Yes,
Mo is, of course, coaching.
Burke is going to be an outstanding baseball player. Great left-handed hitter already. He's only 13.
Here's Blake Dale, a right-handed hitter who sends this one into center field. More work on the plate of Jose Ayala. Mikey Dvorak will come up to bat with 2 out.
Boy, there's lots of swatting going out on the field by the players and the umpires. The mosquitoes might be pretty bad down there tonight.
They got to get those, those off patches that clip on the side of your belt buckle. Have you seen those before?
No, I haven't.
It's a new thing that's come out in like the last 10 years. You clip it on and the bugs go away. Could be something that they could use in the future for, ball players' pants potentially.
It's that new technology they keep coming up with.
And no, it is not technology that involves AI. I'm sure everybody's skeptical of that.
I know,
Don't
yeah.
want to go down that rabbit hole, but just wanted to confirm. Dvorak. Lengthy swing that goes foul. It's a chance for Dvorak to get back to what he knows well, putting the ball in play. He did get on before, but he wants something that's more his style. There's a strike as that one cleanses to that left half of the plate from our angle, right half on your angle.
Boy, what a perfect evening for baseball, and the fans are still all here, even though the score is 8-1.
Flick of a foul there from Dvorak. Another foul off from Dvorak. This is the kind of at-bat we're used to seeing from Dvorak.
Yeah.
Not caving. What is being said on the mic? Reload, reload? Is that what I'm hearing on the mic outside?
No, I didn't hear that.
It's been twice now. It's borderline obnoxious, but that's good because if you're a pitcher out there, you're probably feeling the same way. As long as it doesn't affect Dvorak. This one's going to be a high throw that's also outside.
Good at bat for Micah. Working the count up to full. Got on last inning on that odd bounce at first base that was mishandled.
Ooh, and that one's going to hit Dvorak. So all that just to be nailed in the side. So Dvorak off to first base. Yusei Uzawa, the next man at the plate. Feels like it's been a minute since we've seen Uzawa play at home. We're so used to seeing him near the top of the lineup and batting that second spot largely for this season, but it's been an interesting stretch for the newest member of Butler Community College.
That's in Kansas, I believe. Butler, Kansas. Dvorak stretching out at first base. I think he might have a little bit of a Charlie horse after getting hit.
I got a question for you about Butler because you might know a thing or two. Butler University, the Bulldogs, is that in the same location?
No. Butler University is, I believe, in Wisconsin or Chicago area. Butler Junior College is in Kansas.
often can get confusing within the scope. Who's playing where? Not even sure if Butler University has a baseball team, but
Well, there's so many names of universities that are the same. They're just in different states.
and one common thing I've also found with universities is how many teams are named the Wildcats. Villanova, Kansas State, or Kentucky. I mean, you can go down the list. Everybody's the Wildcats nowadays. One's gonna miss. Count is 2-1. 2 out, 1 on. And there's a strike to you, say.
Oh, that's where the boo comes from. The PA.
That one might get a couple complaints. And foul off there from Uzawa. Trying to pick up sound bites up
Yeah.
from down below.
Nevertheless, it's a 2-2 count. There's 2 away. Dvorak at first.
And Uzawa gets rung up. Oh, that was a tightly knit contest between him and Mazzaleone, but Mazzaleone with his foot forward first. And that will do it for the bottom of the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. This might be it right here. 3 outs away from being out of this game. First, we're doing our communities and university segment. Cloverdale, BC, home of the Volcano Brothers, as it says at the bottom of your screen. We had to feature at some point, so tonight is the night. A suburb of Surrey, BC. Beautiful Surrey, BC at that. The population just over 37,000. The Cloverdale Fairgrounds host one of the largest rodeos in Canada. We were talking about rodeos earlier tonight when we were talking a lot about Wyoming and the Calgary Stampede and those things, but Cloverdale right in that mix as well. The TV show Smallville was filmed there, and as I mentioned before, birthplace of the Volcanoes. So, Wayne, I know you weren't in here for this. I just want to talk. We were talking earlier about rodeos and stampedes. Did you know that Cloverdale, BC, where the Volcanoes are from, has one of the largest rodeos in Canada?
Yes, it does. Yeah, it's a big-time rodeo venue in Cloverdale.
There we go. So he did know. I just wanted to make sure. This has been a bit of a stampede so far,
Yeah.
with the Mavs leading 8-1 as well.
Well, we also have the Medicine Hat exhibition and stampede coming up, and that's a big event. Top-notch cowboys from all over North America and the world come here, and that's in 2 weeks.
Cowboys, they often don't disappoint with the performances that they put on, not unless they're from Dallas, of course. Those Cowboys aren't really living up to the name. But in Medicine Hat, it's a fun thing to watch if you're in town. Make sure you get out.
Attendance, 1,303 fans tonight. Great crowd.
We have a new pitcher on the mound here. Is
Yes,
it
we do.
Jensen Cockrell? I'm looking at the number 18. It should be Jensen.
Yes, it is.
This isn't the first time we've seen Jensen Cockrell in a late game scenario, especially a 9th inning scenario, as he will come in to deliver 3 outs. Gus Kane, the first man that he will see on that lefty on the left-hand side of your screen. Waiting on deck behind Kane is Silas Hilton and then Jose Ayala. Ooh, that one is high and not close from Cockrell.
Kane is 0 for 3 tonight. He got on with a single. I'm sorry, 1 for 3. And also got on catcher's interference in the first inning, or what we believe to be catcher's interference.
And I want to make another note regarding the Moose Jaw loss today before we get any further. The Mavericks have not lost 3 in a row at home all year long. 2 in a row once. That was when the Berries were in town. But they do not let games get away at their home park, as this one's popped up into the outfield. And is the play going to be made? It is not. It's off with a glove of Uzawa in left, and he may have got caught up in the lights there. You can see that light shining down right to where the ball went, and I think it fooled him.
Yeah, I thought Freeman was going crazy out there going after the ball, and it was much closer to Uzawa, but I think Uzawa might have lost it because at the very end he had to turn back to go to the outfield, and then it went off his glove as he was going over his shoulder. So I think that ball was misplayed a little bit by Uzawa, but it could be the lights in the night as well.
So Cockrell will have to deal with one behind him, that into the dirt.
And that run is of no significance in this game. Cockrell just has to focus on the hitter.
And this one's going to be sent out over into right field for a base hit. Throw is going to be in. It's over the head of Cockrell. Right behind it, framing it up, is Jaden Babiuk. So there'll be runners on the corners with nobody out as Cockrell continues to work, looking for his first out.
Yeah, Dvorak launched it, and it got over Volcano, and Babiuk was there. Good job by Cockrell to cover at home plate. So runners on the corners.
Ayala, that's Jose coming up to bat. Casey Prychek on deck. Luis Ayala in the hole. So a good spot in the order here for the 57s if they want to get something going. That one near the body of Ayala as he takes ball one.
They have several opportunities tonight with runners on base, 2 runners on base with nobody out, and just haven't been able to capitalize.
Couple close to that body. Another miss. Ayala not thinking about swinging from the very beginning. Now it's going to be 3-0, so Cockrell threatening to load the bases here, and you can imagine that if the bases are loaded, JT will be making his way out of the dugout.
Well, he's not close right now, and he is falling behind, and that's a recipe for disaster.
There's a strike. Cockrell looking to work his way back.
3-1 count. Ayala's right where he wants to be as a hitter.
That's high from Cockrell. So the bases are loaded. First 3 on, and looks like the Mavericks might be getting... They're shuffling bodies down there. I'm not sure if anybody's warming up yet. JT did not come out of the dugout. Instead, it will be a players-only meeting on the mound. Casey Prychek coming to the plate. This guy that's batting below 200 this year, so you want to be able to challenge him if you're Cockrell.
Well, right now, you just got to challenge the hitters. You've got a 7-run lead. Go right after them. Use your defense. You got 7 other guys out there that are going to help you out as a pitcher. And it's not because Cockrell isn't trying to challenge the hitters. He's just not finding that release point. Oh, wow.
Not a lot of rhythm out there for Cockrell.
No, his release point is way off. As a catcher right now, too, you've just got to set up right down the middle. You don't want to hit a corner because he's having enough time getting it over the middle of the plate. So Babiuk just has to keep it simple out there.
Everything high right now for Cockrell. He's threatening to walk in a run.
Well, you've got to get somebody throwing, I would think, down in the bullpen, because this does not look like a good outing.
And that is 4 consecutive balls. A run is walked in, and now it is an 8-2 ball game. I mean, if Grand Slam here, and it's a 2-run ball game with nobody out. JT coming out to the mound, and I don't think this is something we expected to see at all. With how the game was trending, thought it might be 1-2-3 even in this inning.
Well, on any given day, as a pitcher, you don't know if you're going to have it. You're hoping you're going to have it. And as a manager, you've even got less control over that. You can't make any adjustments. The pitcher has to make the adjustments himself. He knows how to change his release point.
So a new batter in the game, Juan Almonte, at a Bluefield University. The junior is into it. Cockrell, quick mound visit. There's a strike. Boy, he needed that one for the confidence. And there's back-to-back for Cockrell. And there is a player warming up behind him now. And it looks like it's Ryan Harney. Here's one that's going to be fouled.
Oh, this is Tubble.
Oh, good play by Cockrell. He runs right into him down low.
That was the only play he had, too. It was no chance to throw the ball anywhere. And Babiak wasn't at home. He went out to play the ball. That was the only hope for an out.
That looked like the lights being shut off in your house and you run into a screen door type of movement. And fortunately for Cockrell, he landed on an out.
It worked out the way it was supposed to.
So the bases are still loaded, but one out now for Cockrell, and he's starting to find the strike zone there, that is. As he picks another spot. In at the plate for the 57s is Yuji Ime. So another pinch hitter here. Ime from Olympic College. He's a freshman, and he's also from Chiba, Japan. Who else is from there? Of course, that'd be Yusei Uzawa. Freeman's going to lay down. Did he make the play? They didn't rule if he did or not. Here's an out at third. So they're going to get a second one. And the Mavs are coming onto the field like the game's over.
It's a double play.
And I guess Freeman made the catch in center.
Freeman
They
caught
never
it.
signaled if he did, but that is a double play, and the ball game is over. Wow, a weird twist to end this one, and the Mavericks get off of, if you even qualify it as a losing skid, the one-game losing streak at home, and after what was a not fun night last night for them, they are back in the win column as they take down the 57s after some heat at the very end. Jensen Cockrell pulls through, hits the zone with a couple of strikes, and the Mavericks defense today, the story of it all. We are going to hear from Flow Sports, and then we will be back, as always, with Mavs postgame, so do not go anywhere. Well, everybody, welcome to Mavs postgame. A bit of a different feel compared to last night as the Mavericks take down the Swift Current 57s 8-3, and they're back in the win column in general and at home, a place they've played well this year. And as this week comes to the end and this homestand comes to the end, you got to be feeling a little bit better now that they've taken 3 out of 4, 2 against Weyburn, now this one against Swift. Regardless of who the opponent is and their record, you got to get it done. The Mavs did.
Yeah, they did. That was a great bounce back tonight, and hopefully a little bit of a revenge game tomorrow against Moose Jaw. But full credit to Foster Voiko on the mound. He had a great outing. held the 57s to only one run, and I thought he really did his job. He battled out there, got near the 100 pitch mark, but boy, he was. That's what you need right now when you're in a stretch of how many ever games in, like 11 games in 12 days. So good job for Foister. The bats came out, the big 4 home runs tonight. That was a big difference. That's good to see them swinging the bats like they did. And I want to commend Carter Roth for his 3 outstanding defensive plays today. He was amazing at shortstop. What a job that he did, and that was a pleasure watching him tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the defense as a whole for the Mavericks. I think it's the reason that this game was not closer. Talk about Roth's plays, but there was a lot tonight that could have slipped away. The Mavs holding it together.
Well, we had 4 errors last night. We didn't play well last night at all, and tonight we had 1 error. And, again, you talk about the defense. That last play of the game, Jeremy Freeman lays out to catch the ball. The runner on second base tags up and decides to go to third, and Freeman threw him out by 4 or 5 steps. Another great defensive play.
And on the Swift Current side of things, this is a game that it felt like they could have pulled off the upset in, so to say. They got off to the early start, first team on the board with the run, and they stayed step for step with the Mavericks, despite the runs not coming in. But at the end, the better team statistically prevails, and it's tough for Swift Current when it felt like this was their chance.
Well, it was close up until the 6th inning, and we were uncomfortable here with only a 4-run lead. But gradually the Mavericks just started adding to that, and they had those add-on runs to make it 8-1. And overall, the Mavs full deserving of tonight's win.
And I just want to ask one more thing before we conclude this edition of Mavs postgame. That is about tomorrow's matchup and the importance against the Moose Jaw Miller Express. After what happened last night, after how close the standings are getting, what does a matchup like that mean? And for the Mavericks, what would a win against a team like that mean?
Well, we have that natural rivalry against Moose Jaw. We're 2-2 so far on the season series. We're going to play them another 6 times. So we got to get used to playing them, and we've got to just play better against them than we did last night. And I'm sure the boys will come out and play better tomorrow. So big matchup. It's interdivisional again. We're trying to catch Moose Jaw. They're trying to catch Regina. So both teams have a lot to play for.
Yep, and the Mavs, they are here to stay for this foreseeable future. They got a couple more games coming here at Athletic Park, and they should be exciting like this one was tonight. A well-played game by Swift